0161 288 0103.
Yes, of course, you must. 0161 288 0103. Once again, James H. at the helm. A bit of a Dickie Crow's nest last night. There's quite a lot of stuff. I don't want to go into too much detail, but just to convince you of my bona fides, there was a lot coming away, you know, and I felt it best to keep it on my own property rather than distribute it around the premises here. So don't worry. I'm sure because of the post and that, all the gifts will probably arrive tomorrow. So thanks all the same. There's no need for you to go to all that trouble, but now that you have, I might as well keep it. Thank you very much indeed. So that means we're able to resume our duties between now and 1 a.m, discussing the top stories of the day, the current themes, or the perennial puzzlers which confound our collective philosophy. That's right. That's what it says officially. Matters arising. I'll tell you this. I've just got to say this though. I've just got hats off to, well, not Tim Henman, obviously. They should have stopped that, shouldn't they? The umpire should have intervened. Come on, mate. You're having your nose rubbed in it in front of, I don't know how many million people. So let's call it a draw. Hey, off you go. But, Bethany Mattock. Brilliant. Did you see her? Oh, just top tennis player. The only tennis player I've ever seen with cellulite. Yeah, well, no, you know, apart from the later stages of the veterans mixed doubles. But yeah, fantastic. I tell you what, we'll stick a picture of her on the website. She was brilliant. Anyway, I'm sure we'll touch on the subject of Wimbledon later because ladies like it. What else have we got now? What's been happening here? Well, I was just saying to that young Debbie McAlinden before, Elvira, don't know. But anyway, this is the story. She's 49, is Ms. Fairhurst. She took a male teenage pupil's virginity in a school stock cupboard and has been jailed for 4 years and 3 months. I'm told that she lavished attention and praise on the boy who had behavioural problems, and then it goes into a lot. Well, you know what? Being British, I get embarrassed reading this sort of thing out. I quite like reading it to myself. But anyway, well, yeah. Well, it was only to be expected, right? 7 times over a period of months. 3 in the stock cupboard, 2 in a park, and 2 in the toilets. It's a little romantic. It's a fairy tale for our time, isn't it? Anyway, the point is this. She was breaking the law, in particular, in 2 respects, I think. Underage sex and, of course, being in a position of authority. Nonetheless, I think a lot of males would think, well, yeah, that's just the job. There's somebody famous. Who was it? I think it might have been David Niven, who wrote at length about something not dissimilar happening to him. And he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him. And I wonder whether there are different rules here. You've got, leaving aside for the moment the fact that because of her position of authority, she broke the law. What about the fact of a young male having sex, being seduced, if you like, whatever quaint expression you want to use, by a much older woman? Good idea, bad idea. Most young men would think that was just the job. And yet, it's completely the opposite way round if it were an older male and a younger female. Is that right? 0161 288 0103. A little bit later, when Mrs. Parker's got the kids in bed, I'll read you some of the details here. Good heavens! Oh, right, 11. No, okay, never mind that. And of course, we like this one. This comes round every year, and we love it. Have you got 62 pence knocking about? 62 pence you're not bothered about? You'll probably find that it's in your turnips, or probably in a pair of pants hanging up that you've forgotten all about. Well, that has kept the royal family in business in 2005/6. The Queen and the rest of the royal family cost the taxpayer 62p per person, according to Buckingham Palace. The royal accountants said, it's gone up by a penny from last year. I don't remember us voting on that. Anyway, they said it's the price of a ticket to see 1 minute of England versus Portugal. The financial figures show the total cost of keeping the monarchy in 2005 to 6 rose by 4.2%, that's above inflation, to £37.4 million from the previous year. But that works out at 62p per person. They have also revealed, though, that the Queen needs £1 million more a year from the government, which is from us, of course, to repair... Oh, dear. I thought it said to repair her historic places. It's a bit personal. It actually says palaces. In particular, the mausoleum at Windsor, because all the dead people in it are really unhappy with the condition it's in. It needs restoration work worth £2 million. The travel went up by £500,000, actually, 10% to £5.5 million. The most expensive journey made by the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall. Flights to Egypt, Saudi Arabia and India cost £304,000, and so on and so forth. So the point is this: do you object in financial terms? Do you object in principle to the royal family? Do you object in principle but are prepared to accept in practice the existence of the royal family because people who don't know any better are prepared to pay money, many of them American, of course, to come over here and walk round various stately homes and gawp at her in the mall, or as they probably pronounce it, the mall. 0161 288 0103 does put me in a difficult position because I think the very concept of having a queen and a monarch is it's got no place in the 21st century. However, if it's making money, then should we put up with it? 0161 288 0103. Something else has been happening as well. And Manchester is among the places which are being examined as to whether single-sex education is a thing of the past, whether boys and girls schools should be merged and changed to an entirely co-educational system. I'm not saying that it's necessarily directly connected, but the biggest danger would be, in the light of the previous case, would seem to be the need to keep the female teachers away from the male pupils. Anyway, Manchester's local education authority says that the demand for single-sex education is dropping. There's a shortage of places at schools for both sexes, and on top of which, new research revealed that there were no dramatic or consistent advantages in educating boys and girls separately. So if you went to a single-sex school, do you think you would have been better off going to a mixed-sex one? I'm sure the educational aspect of it is something that we're unlikely to grasp without the advice of the independent and highly trained specialists who've been examining it. But what do you think? If you went to a single-sex school, do you think it would have been a good idea to go to a mixed-sex school, or vice versa? It's often been said that, well, there are two arguments, aren't there, that you're free to concentrate at a single-sex school because, in the main, you're not distracted by the attractions of the opposite sex, apart from in the staff room, clearly. On the other hand, it's said that being at a mixed-sex school makes you more mature, you learn to deal with the opposite sex at an earlier age, and makes you a more rounded person, and therefore your education benefits. Well, it seems to be that there is no advantage in having single-sex schools. 0161 288 0103. I went to a single-sex school. Almost everyone there was male. And those who weren't, well, they were just put down as other. So, yeah, and it was, when we were asked, we were told it was none of our business. And it didn't do me any harm. I still sometimes play rugby union in my sleep. 0161 288 0103. Anything else? Anything else? Those are what we sling at you. Anything you've got up your sleeve, or up your nose, or in your metaphorical bonnet, you're at liberty to discuss with us as well. All you got to do is call 0161 288 0103. You can email as well if you wish. We have a website. They're all the go. It's key103.co.uk, and you can send us a message of, well, the content is your choice, really, via that website. And right, I'll do the terms and conditions in a bit, but we do have a texting service available. I don't like you doing it. I don't like people who complain about having done it, and I don't like people who complain about having done it and then complain to the boss about me having complained to them and told them to stop doing it or what have you. But, you know, the world's full of people like that. Anyway, I mention it in passing, and we will do the terms and conditions shortly. Should we?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Come on, Tim! Was it too late?
Yeah.
Too late for that?
Just a bit.
Oh, they should have said... The umpire should have leaned down, shouldn't he, and said, Tim...
Come on.
We understand. Go on, mate. You've shown your face. You've done your best. Right, no point in dragging it into the second week. Off you go, mate. To avoid further punishment. Anyway, what was I going to do? Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, listen. If you want to text, it's 63103, but above all, you must remember this. Getting in touch with Key 103 through your mobile is fast and easy, and we can keep you up to date with new competitions and offers. Text messages sent to Key 103 on 63103 are charged to you at standard network rate, normally no more than 12p, and inclusive on most major network contracts, you will receive a reply to each text message, which will be charged at 25p. Due to the nature of the text message you receive from Key 103, this will still be charged at 25p to your phone bill or prepaid credit, regardless of network contract. If you have a prepaid phone, then you will need to have enough credit on your phone to receive a reply. Normally, you receive a reply to your message to Key 103 immediately after you have sent it. However, sometimes there are delays on the mobile networks, which mean you will receive a reply much later or not at all. This is normally due to a large number of texts being sent at the time. Unfortunately, this is outside the station's control. Your network operator should be able to tell you if there's been a delay on the system. At the end of our reply, we'll ask you if you want to receive exclusive news and offers from us and send a reply with the word join. This joins you up as a member of our Key VIP text club, where you'll receive competitions, offers and other information from Key 103 and our partners straight to your mobile phone. Each message will cost you 25p to receive. If at any time you wish to unsubscribe from this club, text the word stop to 63103. You won't hear from us again unless you get back in touch. Key 103 operates a series of text alert services. It's Key 103 Newsletter. These are independent of Key 103's VIP club, and the messages sent out separately. If you wish to subscribe or unsubscribe to any of our alert services, please see Key 103 alerts page for more information. Your home is at risk if you don't keep up the payments. All right, open late Thursdays. So there we are. Happy now? Good. Right, we'll start with a Hillman in a minute.
Key 103's £25,000 triple play from the station that plays out the songs and pays out the cash. We've already given away a stack of cash.
Yes! Get him!
25, Susan!
Oh, thank you very much!
Call her 25.
Oh my God, I'm shaking! Oh, thank you!
We've given away £14,000 so far, and we're still waiting for the 3 songs that will win someone £25,000.
They're coming sometime soon. Keep listening. The £25,000 triple play from Manchester's Key 103.
The conventional wisdom is to remortgage every couple of years. But when you add up how much that'll cost in fees every time, maybe it's not such a wise move. Here's an idea. Abbey's Flexible Plus Mortgage. Because it's guaranteed to always track just above the base rate, you get a great deal for the life of the mortgage, so you'll never want to remortgage again. To find out more, call Abbey on 0800 80 80 80, visit abbey.com or your local branch. It could be the wisest move you'll ever make. Abbey, more ideas for your money.
10% deposit, £599 booking fee, 0.49% above Bank of England base rate. The overall cost for comparison is 5.2% APR. Calls recorded.
Isn't it unbelievable the way banks treat you?
You pay in a cheque, and you have to wait
Days before your bank starts to credit your account with interest.
waiting days. What's that all about?
But not at Lloyds TSB.
They're the first and only bank
To pay you interest from the day you pay in.
To the day your bills get paid.
So if you use cheques, standing orders and internet banking,
You could earn over 150 days more interest a year.
If you're losing interest in your bank, switch to Lloyds TSB. Lloyds TSB, you first. Personal current accounts paying interest. Same day interest on up to £1,000 of cheques a day. Paid in over counters 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. weekdays.
To get free broadband forever, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to the Carphone warehouse? See TalkTalk, their home phone company, will give you up to 8 meg broadband free forever with their new Talk 3 international call package. So you'll never have to pay to use the internet again. Sign up today at the Carphone warehouse. TalkTalk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Brain?
Yes, Finger.
You know how you've got an unconscious mind that keeps working even when you don't know about it?
Yes, what of it?
Well, does that mean I've got an unconscious finger that does things I don't know about?
Finger, you never do anything I don't know about. Press that button, there's a good chap.
Sky Box Office. All you need is a brain and a finger. This week, Flight Plan stars Jodie Foster as a grieving widow flying her husband's body home. She thinks she's lost her young daughter on the plane, but does anyone believe her? And more to the point, do we? Sky Digital subscribers only. Sky Box Office terms apply.
Flight Plan is a scary film about being in an aeroplane.
Well done.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Well, I think the best thing to do is hit the ground running, eh? Let's get started. Things can only get better. Joan is in Newton Heath in Manchester. You're on Key 103. Joan, hello.
Hi, James.
Joan.
Glad to hear you better, Pet.
Oh, it was terrible. You should have... Oh, you know when it all comes away?
Oh, I do.
Oh.
All in one piece, I hope.
Well, it was like... honestly, it was like spaghetti.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, dear God.
No, anyway, you're better now.
Well, I'm better than nothing.
Well, I always thought that, but I didn't like to say it. The Royal family.
Yes.
What is the point of them? Tell me. Will somebody explain? And you know, James, I can't believe when I see people queuing up just to wave a flag at her and smile, and men as well. You know, I can understand some silly women, but men as well, with flowers in their hand.
Well, I mean, you saw them. There were men, and not all of them homosexual, who were in floods of tears when Diana snuffed it. I couldn't believe that. They should have all been... They should have rounded up everybody and arrested them. The police should have thrown an accordion round the area.
Of course, honest to God, James, I cannot understand it. To try as I do, I cannot understand this at all. I really don't. I mean... How can you admire somebody who has never done a stroke of work, rob you of your 68p a week? Is it 68p in the pound?
62.
62?
Yeah.
And nobody asked me. I mean, you've got to... If you want to join a union, you've got to sign something, haven't you? Do you remember all the hullabaloo about you can't force people to join a union?
Yes, absolutely.
And yet, they make merry of my 68p.
So, listen, 62p, get it right. I know you're getting old now. You're starting to... Yeah, short-term memory's gone.
I bet it's 68 next year.
Right. But listen, did you get... you're a pensioner, aren't you, Joan?
I am,
a coughing dodger, yeah. Well, you got your... didn't you get your 25p a week pension rise?
Hey, I'm not that bloody old yet, kid.
Eh?
I'm not that old yet.
Oh, I thought...
I'll be 70, I think.
Well, no, what wasn't all the row about? The pension increase worked out at 25 pence a week?
Yeah, roughly, yeah, it was, yeah.
Well... Over a fortnight of that is already taken care of.
Exactly.
Because it's cost you 62p.
Not right, you know, Jim. You should be able to opt out.
Listen, the monarchy, you know, I mean... Actually, you've just reminded me of something that I read something about the popularity of the monarchy. And until Queen Victoria, there was none of this public adulation of the monarchy. Do you know that?
Probably because we never saw much of them. They kept the soul to themselves, probably.
Well, yeah, and in some cases for good reason, because they don't go out in daylight. But it was only when Queen Victoria snuffed it that people turned out in force. Prior to that, a lot of monarchs were, when they died, it was they were just like smuggled away, because a lot of them were very, very unpopular. And it's only really since, when did she die? 1904, wasn't it? Since Queen Victoria, no, like 1908? Anyway, since Queen Victoria died, that there's been this apparent popularity of the monarchy.
It's false, isn't it?
And then, of course, we get it dinned into us
ever
since. How wonderful they are.
It's the papers. It's the papers, the media and everything. And it's like a factory. The people around them who have this aura of the Queen and her family, who keeps them in their... sumptuous apartments, who ponce around all day for, and being kept.
Well, there's been a bit of an adjustment just lately, because, as you'll be aware, they have started paying income tax now.
Oh, well, that makes a difference, yeah.
Okay, a bit late. You know what I mean? I think, actually, if the revenue were hot on this, they would point out to them that they haven't paid a penny since, 1066 at the very latest. They could go back before that, probably, but I don't suppose they kept many records in those days. So I don't suppose we'll ever get that, will we?
And I bet there's a fiddle going on somewhere. I bet there's something that they don't have to pay tax on, or there's a different level of tax that they're allowed to get away with.
Well, something has happened now. Now, a lot of the hangers-on, a lot of the, the Princess Michaels and people like that, they don't get a carrot anymore. And I believe it's only the Queen and Prince Philip who get the civil list now. All the others have to look out for themselves. And in mitigation, I will say this, that the civil list is actually, it can only be spent on their official duties.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah.
So a lot of that money goes to pay the wages of people who like do the plumbing at Buckingham Palace and all that sort of thing. Fully paid up members of the general municipal and boilermakers. So their own personal expenses, they have to pay for out of their own pocket. It's a deep pocket, I grant you.
Exactly. Where does it come from in the first place?
It comes from, I would say, about 1,000 years of taking the punters to the cleaners.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So no.
But why can't people be more educated? And they must see them as something like next to holiness.
Well, I've had people say to me, "Well, you've got to have somebody to look up to."
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had people who say that to me with a perfectly straight face.
Well, I look up to all my children because they're all taller than me.
Well, there we are. That's a very poor gag, Joan, but I know you meant well.
No, seriously, why do you need to look up to somebody who don't think enough of themselves?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd admire for people for taking a position of wealth, privilege and power and then manipulating everything round them to make sure they stay there, including telling you on a daily basis how much you want them to be there.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
I wish they'd listen to the real people,
Well, I don't know. I mean, we led the way in, Charles I. If he were able to tell us, he could probably explain. But this is what baffles me: is that the Russians, they got rid of theirs in 1917.
And I wouldn't like it to be bloody. Don't get me wrong. I'd like it to be a bloodless thing. Just say bye.
And just tell them to put them on the to an estate agents.
No, just ignore them. Just don't give them any more money and just let them survive on one house.
But the point is, though, there's a number of European countries, they still have the royal families.
Yeah.
And this famous one about, is it the Danish royal family? They all ride around on bicycles. Yeah, well, whether they do or not, I don't know. But the point is, you still allow them the privilege of being the royal family. And that still implies that they are somehow superior.
Yes. Scandalous, isn't it, James?
You can object in principle. On the other hand, you look at the people who are daft enough to come from all over and pay money to go around Windsor Castle and all that sort of thing.
And cry when she looks at them.
Yeah, all that. So, should we tolerate the indignity? Because we are her subjects. We are not citizens.
Exactly.
We are subjects.
Doesn't that rub?
Well, I don't like to feel that I can't do anything without technically asking the Queen's permission.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say about the Russians is, they got rid of them in time-honoured tradition and putting them up against the wall, and then 60 years later, 80 years later, when they do away with the Soviet Union, they all want them back.
No.
Yeah, they're all good. Yeah, there were actually moves to reinstate the Romanovs.
Good God. They never thought they'd have learned something.
There is something in people's character, I think, which requires some sort of
and don't they play on
subjugation? And when they make a town halls of it, when they die or they turn out to be round the bend or something, and they can't find out who the next king or queen's supposed to be, they go and make somebody up. They go and get somebody from Holland or a German or something like that, and convince us. They show us the paperwork, right? And say, so there you are.
Yeah, they are royal.
Yeah, fine, that's good enough for me.
It's like, Sophie. The minute I saw her in that landau, I thought, my God, she was cut out for that. She absolutely laps it up.
Well, I don't know about her personal habits, but anyway, there we are. I wouldn't want to. Listen, Joan, that's enough of that. We're going to talk to Paul in Widnes. Oh, dear. Right, 0161 288 0103. I'll remind you of the topics in a second. Shall we have a word with Paul first? Yeah. Right, the royalties, 62 pence. 62p it cost you last year. You, me, everybody who pays tax to keep the royal family where they are. Do you want to get rid of them? Do you want to keep them? Do you want to tolerate them? Just because that 62p is probably an investment, because it brings money into the country, the people who take the money pay tax on it, and we probably get back more than 62p. But the principle remains that we allow ourselves to be deemed the inferiors, to belong to the royal family, or whatever they manage to pass off, foist upon us as being the royal family. 0161 288 0103. And again, what do you think about this? If you've just joined us, a female teacher from Liverpool, 49-year-old, has been sent to prison for 4 years and 3 months for having sex on a number of occasions, 11 incidents of sexual activity, with a pupil aged 15. Male, 14 at the time, a male pupil having sex with a female teacher, 35 years his senior. She's gone to prison for 4 years and 3 months. The papers are always full of stories of girls getting pregnant at 15, 14, 13, and in some cases 12. Someone has obviously broken the law there, but when does anybody get sent to prison for that? Do you think she should have been prosecuted? Do you not think that the idea to a 15-year-old lad, a mature woman, taking him on, so to speak, I'm choosing my words carefully at this moment for Mrs. Parker's benefit, do you think that most 15-year-old lads wouldn't clap their hands and say, put me down for one? I'll do, put me down for 2 days a week. 0161 288 0103. We'll find out what Paul from Widnes thinks in a second. You're listening to Key 103. It's 10:30.
This week, Key 103 and Shell want you to discover the ultimate drive. On Key 103's Drive Home every day from 4, we'll be giving you the chance to drive down America's legendary Route 66 through LA, Vegas, San Francisco, and the Grand Canyon. We've also got a push sat-nav to be won. For more chances to win, get to your nearest Shell forecourt, get behind the wheel, turn on Key 103, and get yourself the ultimate driving experience on Route 66. All this week on Drive with Shell. Fueling great movement.
July the 6th will be a very special day. It will be the day when thousands of proud people finally pull on their brand new Manchester City home kit. Get your brand new home kit at the Manchester City store. Remember that all smart card holders get 20% off everything in store, including shirt printing. And you're not going to find a better price than that. For more information and to get your City card, visit mcfc.co.uk. The brand new Manchester City home kit launches July the 6th at the Manchester City store. This is our city. Let's paint it blue.
Win or lose, we'll all need a break from the excitement once the World Cup's over. So when you reserve a new apartment with David McLean before July the 9th, we'll give you a holiday to any country taking part. That's 32 to choose from. Plus, you get to choose from some great incentives. So for stylish apartment living in Manchester, Alderley Edge and Bolton, visit davidmcleanhomes.co.uk and start planning your escape. Terms and conditions apply.
Can I have 37 cornets, 26 orange sunshine, 63 raspberry surprises, 54 choco rockets, 72 99s, and a screwball for the MD?
If the heat's on where you work, call HSS Hire. Air conditioning units, cooling fans, for the office, factory or shop, we've what you need right now. Visit hss.com or call 08457 28 28 28. HSS Hire. Seriously cool.
Brain?
Yes, Finger.
You know how you've got an unconscious mind that keeps working even when you don't know about it?
Yes, what of it?
Well, does that mean I've got an unconscious finger that does things I don't know about?
Finger, you never do anything I don't know about. Press that button, there's a good chap.
Sky Box Office. All you need is a brain and a finger. This week, Flight Plan stars Jodie Foster as a grieving widow flying her husband's body home. She thinks she's lost her young daughter on the plane, but does anyone believe her? And more to the point, do we? Sky Digital subscribers only. Sky Box Office terms apply.
Flight Plan is a scary film about being in an aeroplane.
Well done.
5 mornings a week, Alison has treatment for cancer. The hospital is over an hour's drive away. This means filling up with petrol once or twice a week, which wouldn't be so bad if it was her only expense. Alison guessed that her treatment would involve lots of expensive machines, but she didn't think the hospital parking meter would be one of them.
Travelling and parking costs for cancer treatments can mount up. So if you're struggling to afford it, call Macmillan free on 0800 500 800 and we'll tell you what financial help is available and how to claim it. That's 0800 500 800. Macmillan Cancer Support. We want a better deal for people dealing with cancer.
Helen in the morning on Key 103.
What have you learnt, Chelsea, over the last
Right, I've got to stand up for this.
Oh my God.
I've learned that having had my belly button pierced for about 8 years, it looks really weird when it comes out. Look at that!
You do realise we're not on television, the listeners can't see you.
Oh, can't they?
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Let's go to Widnes. Paul in Widnes, you're on Key 103.
Hello?
Hello.
I can't hear you very well, you know.
Well, what can I do about that?
Well, they had cutbacks or something, because it used to be, like, low, and then when I got on, it was loud.
Oh, I don't know. It's no good asking me. Mind you, that Debbie Mack, she spilt something before. That might be affecting it.
Really, you sound... I just can't hear you properly.
How's that, then?
Sorry?
Don't wind me up.
No, honestly, right, anyway, I'll do my best. You know the woman who was just on?
Yes.
I agree entirely with the sentiments. Entirely. She's a good woman.
Those sentiments being what?
That she hates her own family. And she thinks it's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah?
I agree with that as well.
Right.
However...
I'm
concerned. I'm glad that we've got him.
Why?
And I've only found that out. I never thought it until the last few years. And I'm also glad we've got the House of Lords.
Why?
Because of this crazy government that we've got now. Absolutely lunatics in charge. Westminster.
The House of Lords, I mean, I'm a bit fearful about this because I think that'll be a rather elevated discussion to have, but the monarch makes no difference whatsoever.
No, I know, alright, well, put that aside, but for the same reason...
I mean, technically she does. She has to... All bills have to have royal assent and all that sort of thing, but if she had actually ever dared to oppose one, it'd be back to, Oliver Cromwell all over again. So that's not going to happen.
And he was a great man, by the way.
He wasn't bad. He lost it a bit towards the end. It rather went to his head, I think.
Well, maybe so.
Oh, it went to his head. Did you get it?
Sorry?
It doesn't matter. Go on.
Right.
Struggling a bit here.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, well, but... I understand what you're saying about the House of Lords has got nothing to do with the debate about the royal family, but... To me, it has.
No, the House of Lords...
It curbs the excesses.
Exactly. So it's relevant to the government. The royal family is irrelevant to the government completely, as I say, apart from that technicality.
It's irrelevant?
Yeah, completely irrelevant.
No, it is relevant. It curbs the excesses of a lunatic government like this new Labour government.
No, the monarchy doesn't. The monarchy doesn't. The monarchy doesn't!
Right, okay. It does. It's curbed... Tony Blair and this lunatic Labour government's excesses.
Oh, you just said this a few minutes ago, but is this our Listen Again feature, as that kicks in? But the monarchy, technically, has to approve all bills, has to give assent to all bills, but in practice, never ever opposes them.
No, of course it doesn't.
No, so the royal family has no effect whatsoever.
It does. It frightens people like Tony Blair into crossing a line.
Explain that.
Tony Blair, if he could, would get rid of the royal family, wouldn't he?
No, he wouldn't.
Of course he would.
He's the one who coined the expression "the people's princess."
Yeah, but he was
and was nearly blubbing because she got killed on his watch. And I thought, here we go. Here's the opportunity, right? We should have binned the Millennium Dome. We should have got rid of all these vestiges of the last lot, and I thought, here is the opportunity, despite the sad fact that a life has been extinguished and two young lads who've had a pretty ropey time of it anyway they've lost their mother, but here's the opportunity for him to go on and say something very 21st century, to say, obviously, the government...
What do you want to say about she got killed?
No, to go on and say something that you would say in the normal course of events. Something rudimentary. It's a very sad loss for the family. There we go. Thanks very much indeed. But no, he went into... He gets his hanky out, and he's pretending he can't think of the words. But why do it? Why?
Why? Because he's a liar.
Why?
He's a complete con man, isn't he?
Why?
He's doing it to win the trust of the people, and then he's going to try and stab them all in the back.
Right, I noticed that you're studiously ignoring the fact that you just said Tony Blair would do away with the monarchy, and I've just pointed out to you that he's been banging the drum, but there's been no suggestion of any republicanism in the Labour Party.
He's working on it. This new Labour tyranny is working on it.
And how they
knows it needs time to do it.
How are they going to do that then? Tell me how they're going to do that.
They're working on it. They're getting the trust of the people. They're telling all these lies like they do.
But all the opinion polls show...
the people's princess. You don't think he was sincere when he said that, do you?
Whether he was sincere or not doesn't matter. The fact that he missed an opportunity to bring things down to earth, that's the regrettable thing. But you've just said that he's getting the trust of the people, and I'm surprised that you, as clearly a critic of Tony Blair, haven't noticed that all the opinion polls say that 2 out of 3 people don't trust Tony Blair as far as he could throw a grand piano.
Well, yeah, we know that now. We never knew it before. Well, I knew it. I knew it from day one.
Right, but you
No, I'll take that back. I didn't know it from day one. I agree with what you said. This is a new leader, a young man with a young family. This is a great opportunity. And it's just completely gone.
Right.
Blown away in the wind.
And you just said he's getting the trust of the people. He clearly isn't getting the trust of the people.
He's trying to.
Well, he's failing.
He's such a lunatic. He's failed abysmally.
Ever since the dodgy dossier in Iraq and all that sort of thing, nobody trusts him anymore.
No, they don't now. But I'll tell you what, if there's a general election tomorrow, they'd still get in, even with him as leader. Why is that?
I think it'd be a close thing.
Do you think so? I don't.
I think it'd be a close thing.
What, with Dave? With flipping Dave, what's his name?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Despite his appearance on
Jonathan Ross. Because there's still enough idiots voting Labour just because it's called Labour.
Well, I think it would be a close thing, but I tell you what, I think the turnout would be a massive embarrassment for all concerned.
Well, I'll agree with you on that one.
Right, good. Get off. No, that was Paul. Oh, by the way, did you go to a single-sex school?
Who?
You.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because you have
why
to
you asked the question?
Because it's part of a survey that we're conducting.
Not all the time, but I did it one time.
Right. What about, were there any female teachers there that you fancied? Or male teachers there for that matter?
All right. Can I talk about that?
You can if you want, yeah.
Because I thought you might cut me off.
Quick. Well, I think the sooner you start, the sooner we can decide whether to cut you off or not.
I think that woman is a paedophile, and she should get 30 years.
Really?
Yeah. I think any paedophile should get 30 years. And then at least, and I've heard this before. This has happened before. I remember a boy a few years ago. He was 50. I mean, in this case, the woman was a complete horror, wasn't she? She was a moose. Total moose.
I'm not sure that in the current climate we're allowed to actually dwell on the physical appearance of the woman.
Right, well, to me she was anyway.
Well,
and I'm 44, but I can understand the appeal to because I fancied older women when I was 14. I never got one, by the way, but...
Yeah, that was a snag, wasn't it? Yeah.
There you go. But anyway, but I remember this happening a few years ago with a boy. I think he was 15 or 14.
There's been a few, actually.
Yeah, well, there was one, and it was reported on the news and everything. And I remember fellas saying at the time to me, why that ever come to court? That's ludicrous. Any boy would dream of sleeping with a 38-year-old woman or whatever it was. Yeah, of course, but that's not the point, is it? That's not...
I don't... Actually, I'm just reading the report here. I don't think there was any sleeping involved.
Oh, was there not?
No.
Well, there was in the other one, the last time.
Yeah.
But it's still the same. I mean, well, I don't know. Well, okay, I'll have to read it again because I don't know what she... Well, why has she been convicted of a crime then?
Well, unless you can sleep in a broom cupboard.
Oh, right, I see what you mean, yeah. Well, there you go. I was... yeah, right. But no, I mean, it's not a bit of fun because it was a boy. And yes, it is the same if it's the other way around. You can't say if a man I don't know how she... Was she about 40? I can't remember.
She's 49.
Right, she's 49.
Yeah. But you answer me this. This was last week. They're talking about... how far it's got, I don't know, but they're talking about in Tameside... handing out condoms...
Yeah.
...to kids in schools there, knowing perfectly well that if they have sex, they're breaking the law. So, if Elvira Ferris goes in the slammer, what's happening to all these kids? Don't put them in prison. Don't put them in prison. Give them a condom.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that story, but
right. Well, I've just told it you, but that doesn't seem to have made any difference. Right. 0161 288 0103. Was it me there? I'm sure he kept saying the same thing over and over again. Did he? And I kept... Yeah, I thought so. 0161 288 0103. Just had a text message here. I don't know how much it cost. Drew in Urmston says, I'm 14. The thought of getting it on with me French teacher gives me a shrinky winky. Okay. I think you need to clarify your terms there, Drew, but it's interesting. Hang on, if you're 14, why do you have the thought of getting it on with your French teacher? I don't understand that. Anyway, we're going to Warrington to talk to another kid in a moment.
In the wake of the recent unveiling of an unprecedented new Manchester City home kit, you join me now at the House of Commons, and it's kicking right off.
How a team competing in the finest football league in the world have the audacity to wear...
Please, Minister. That's your...
Order!
Talking.
My what?
Your massive...
Order!
Talking. This is clearly a design of unsurpassed artistic genius. And furthermore, the brand new Manchester City home kit, available July the 6th at the Manchester City store. Join the debate, mcfc.co.uk.
Maybe love, maybe fun.
Maybe nights out, maybe nights in.
Maybe romance, maybe friendship.
Maybe something serious, maybe just for laughs.
Maybe-friends.co.uk.
Safe, secure and discerning. A new dating database has arrived in the Northwest.
Maybe-friends.co.uk. Sign up now and registration is free.
Maybe it's exactly what you've been looking for.
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream. Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down through all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful. You could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
It doesn't matter how you got into debt. It doesn't matter why you got into debt. What does matter is how you get out of debt. If you're like thousands of other people who dread the sound of the letterbox, maybe you should call Spectrum. Government legislation means that Spectrum could write off up to 90% of your debts, leaving you debt-free with no interest and no more loans in just 5 years. Thousands of people are already on their way to being debt-free. You could be too. Just call Spectrum free on 08000 432 432. That's 08000 432 432 now. Subject to acceptance.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right, let's talk to Chris in Warrington. Chris, I understand you're a kid.
Yes.
Yes. How old are you?
I'm 11.
11, right. And have you ever had untoward thoughts about a female teacher many years your senior?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not really. But I came on to talk about mixed-sex schools.
Yes.
Well, next year, I'm going to be in year 7. I'm going to a single-sex school, an all-boys school. But at the moment, I'm in a comprehensive school.
Yes.
And
Very
it's quite
well-spoken
good.
kid, isn't he? Very posh.
And it's quite weird because sometimes, like, you get, like, I don't know.
What?
There's lots of people.
funny feeling?
Yeah, because there's lots of people around you who you wouldn't usually see, because I sometimes, I went to my grammar school, which I'm going to next year, for 3 days, just testing out what it was like, and just going in lessons and stuff, and it was so different to what I'm at. It's everyone's the same, and you're walking around, and you get to learn stuff instead of just messing around in the classroom like you do at the moment when I'm in my school.
He sounds like Lenin. A young Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. But we won't go into that. Listen, let me put my cards on the table here, Chris.
Go on.
We're talking about... Right, you're 11 now. You're going to the big school shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Well, up to now, the reason they put boys and girls in the same room is because there's only one, like, sandpit and one Wendy house, and it doesn't really matter.
No.
Okay.
We all get on with each other.
Yeah. I think when things start to get awkward, as regards education, is that quite apart from whatever the see, when you get to the big school, quite apart from what the teacher might suggest to you, there will also come a time when you notice that certain of your classmates are starting to grow lumps in places where they didn't have them before, and that's where it all starts going wrong. You see, that's what they're looking at.
Well, we did PSHE the other month.
You did what?
Personal and social health education.
Oh, right. I thought it was something, a coating they put on frying pans.
or for short, sex ed.
Just a minute. Have you seen... Oh, it's all right. It's 10 to 11. Yeah.
And they split us up into rooms. All the girls in one classroom and all the boys on the other to watch these videos.
Really?
And the teachers didn't actually watch us. They just left us to watch these videos. And then afterwards, they said, right, when it's finished, go out to play.
To play with anything in particular?
No, I mean, so, like, go outside and walk a playground.
I see. Well, I went to a party once where something like that happened, but the boys and girls were all watching it in the same room, actually. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you something. Well, luckily, this covers... I'm glad we've got a child on, because this enables us to examine a number of issues here. I'll tell you what was it called? Personal space and health and efficiency? Or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right. Well, I remember at school, obviously, a teacher was told at some point, we've got a room full of 12, 13 maybe. And obviously, although we mostly concentrate on French and Latin and a little bit of religious and that, I suppose we should make some gesture towards educating the boys about sex.
Right.
So, I mean, when I look back at the staff now, I would imagine most of them, the last time they had sex was during the general strike. But it was their duty to do so. And I'll never forget, they obviously thought, well, how can we wangle this into the curriculum? You sound to me, Chris, like a lad who knows the meaning of the word curriculum.
Not really.
Right,
well, yeah,
okay.
I know what it is.
The lessons, you know, into the timetable.
Yeah.
Okay. And they decided to do it in the following way. Once a week, we had, sometimes it was called RE.
Yeah, religious education.
Yeah, religious engineering. And then sometimes they call it divinity. Anyway, obviously, it was, in our terms, it was like total switch off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, so our form master, who had been saddled with teaching us divinity, suddenly, without warning, instead of doing the Sermon on the Mount or whatever, which, you know, we used to do I think they used to give us the same lessons every year, and it made no difference. You had no idea what he was going on about. I've never understood that one, where the bloke goes away, and he leaves his servants some money, and one of them buries it
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Right, and when he comes back, he digs it up again. And we used to get this. It used to come round at assembly.
Yeah.
About every 18 months, and I think, I don't understand that at all. What point are they trying to make?
Yeah, there's this guy who comes into our school. His name's Ray Tate, and he comes in and talks about religious stuff. I don't know if he makes them up, but he talks about these stories, and at the end of it, he tells like a religious moral to it. And I heard that one. He buries the money or something.
Yeah.
The other guy spends it and builds a mansion.
Yeah, another fellow puts it on a chariot race.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy who put it in the ground at the end has got his money.
I don't know.
At the end of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, we used to sit there, like, listening and then say, here endeth the lesson. And you'd think, what lesson? I've not learnt anything from that, mate. Anyway, the point is this. We might, actually, if anybody can explain that to me, then, 0161 288 0103. Because it's not the same one as the 3 men in the restaurant. That's a different one, where you can't find the missing pound. We've done that one. I don't want to do that one again. Anyway, the point is this, listen.
Go on.
We're expecting to do so-and-so big at somebody and all this nonsense. And with no warning whatsoever, our form master says, right. He says, when a mummy and a daddy want to make a what I can only describe as a baby, the following procedure is undertaken. And we're all going, what, why? Why is this being launched on us all of a sudden? And he's obviously been told how to do it. And that was it. So
I know, the teachers tell us, like, today we'll do a sex ed with a straight face, and you're like, and all the kids are laughing, and you're like, what is that? So, and you tell him with a straight face. It's amazing.
And 40 minutes later, he says, now, I hope that's perfectly clear. Right, so for next week, I want you to, read Psalm 24. And that was that. Fantastic.
I know.
Anyway, listen, shut up. I've got to ask you something relating to current matters, and I've lost it here. Have you ever had a drink?
A what? What, as in alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I had a bit of my dad's beer the other day. He had a bottle of Stella, and he left it on the table. And I was at a sleepover with my mate, so there were two of them, so we nabbed the bottle and took them into the bedroom and gauzed them all.
Blimey, sounds like an episode of The Simpsons.
Isn't it?
Yeah. School children as young as 11 have admitted having at least one alcoholic drink in a week.
No.
Other primary school pupils in the Rochdale Borough Survey say they smoke once or twice a week, while 1 in 5 12 to 15-year-olds have taken drugs.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything, Chris.
Well, there's a kid down who I know called Ben.
No, you don't know anybody with that name.
No, I don't.
No.
And he smokes. He's only 13.
Right. I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to ask you whether you inhaled or not, Chris.
Oh, no.
No, because that could bring your political career crashing down around your ears. Right, I've had enough of this. Chris, he's going to be a right, eh? He'll be a mitherer when he grows up, won't he? Eh? 0161 288 0103. If you want to tackle that. That is actually something Jackie says, have you seen this here? Right. It's a lot of information collected in Rochdale saying that, there's all manner of percentages and what have you here, but it seems that from the age of 11 upwards, primary school pupils are smoking, drinking, and obviously, ultimately, having sex in the caretaker's cupboard with the teacher, apparently, mentioning no names. Right. I've got some comments, some text messages here, which I'll do. Don Brennan, has texted in and says, I can't understand this boy. I spent many an hour locked in a bathroom thinking about some after-school sessions with the female staff. Well, yes, I think I think a lot of people did. Mind you, he's only 11. By the sound of things, he's an intelligent and diligent lad who's quite rightly devoting most of his energy to learning things, 0161 288 0103. I'll do you a refresher in a minute. I'll do you a reminder of what's been going on. Also, we'll have our Wimbledon Roundup, which we're looking forward to. I think Jackie will join us for that, because girls like tennis, I believe, but they don't like football. That's a fact. 0161 288 0103.
This week, Key 103 and Shell want you to discover the ultimate drive. On Key 103's Drive Home every day from 4, we'll be giving you the chance to drive down America's legendary Route 66. Through LA, Vegas, San Francisco, and the Grand Canyon. We've also got a Bush sat-navs to be won. For more chances to win, get to your nearest Shell forecourt, get behind the wheel, turn on Key 103, and get yourself the ultimate driving experience on Route 66. All this week on Drive with Shell. Fueling great movement.
Jane, the freezer's broke down and it's full of food.
Get to Direct Discounts quick.
What if they haven't got any?
Don't be daft. Direct Discounts is a domestic appliance store. They do everything. Washing machines, dishwashers, tumble dryers, fridges, freezers, gas and electric cookers, built-in ovens, hobs, hoods and loads of those big range cookers. Even American fridge freezers. All on display at discount prices.
We need it now.
Phone them. They might deliver straight away free. Direct Discounts is next to MFI on Manchester Street, Oldham.
You know running's good. And raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
The Constitution, according to Talk Talk. You have the right to roam the internet freely. You have the right to access information, to download and surf freely. You see, Talk Talk believe the internet is a right, not a privilege. So when you get the new Talk 3 International Call package, you'll get up to 8 meg broadband free forever. Join up at talktalk.co.uk. Talk Talk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream. Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
Steve Penk's Weekend Breakfast.
She's a wind-up. She's a wind-up.
Right, my name is Penky.
Yes.
I'm the British trampolining champion.
Yes.
Well, these are the things that I need. I need a road to run on, a horse, a pool, a sandpit, a trampoline, a diving board, and a mat for dancing on.
Thank you for calling, sir. Have a nice day.
Ooh, what's her problem?
Steve Penk's Weekend Breakfast. Back Saturday from 9. Key 103. The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Oh, I thought there was a bit more to that, but there we are. Then again, I'm not the first person to say that. It's 3 minutes past 11, and I think at this point we'll interrupt the furious flow of cut and thrust telephonic debate and go to the Jackie desk where she's clutching quite a handful.
Yes. The first from Moira is to me, and it says, "Hello, Jackie. Is it true that James was off last night after swallowing a fur ball off his wig? What's a weak excuse?"
Actually,
Moira, it was man flu, and you'd know about that.
I'm still very bad.
Yeah, terrible.
Do you just listen to this? You'll hear it tear itself free in a minute. There he goes.
When he's finished.
Oh, where's that gone? Well, that's not landed in the equipment somewhere.
I know, I'm wondering.
That could work its way through.
John in Salford
says... to a crucial part of the broadcasting day.
That'd be awful. Hi, James. Were you really ill last night, or were you unable to get away from Sue in Denton? Just what were you two doing at 1 o'clock in the morning? Give us some details.
Sue she is very good for helping me to get anything
off your
off.
chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Really clears it out.
Hi, James, says Paul in Oldham. I take it you didn't hear the Debbie Mack show last night. The new allegation is that James H. Reeve has 2 parking spaces on the Key 103 car park. One for his car and one for his Zimmer frame. Is this true?
She's a two-faced, isn't she? I come in here and she's as nice as pie. And I've been stabbed in the back.
Is it because you've been stealing her biscuits, though?
There's no foundation to that either. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a conspiracy.
Oh.
Here, frankly.
Katie in Bolton says, hi, James. As it's Wimbledon, I think you should bring Jackie in a bowl of strawberries and cream every night. Oh, yum. That'd be fantastic. It would be a nice thing to do, and Jackie's certainly worth it. That's nice, isn't it? I'd love that.
Oh, it's very nice of somebody to suggest that, yeah.
Are you going to?
No, of course not.
Okay. Adele says, do you not like the Queen, James? I thought you might have had pictures of the Queen filling your house. Obviously, I was wrong.
That's a joke, isn't it? There's no disguising it. Although she came very close to it.
Oh. Hello, James, says Jane in Salford. I was appalled to hear that Q103 have lavished a second parking space on you. This is a scandal and makes you sound a bit like 2 Jags John Prescott. She demands a public inquiry.
Here am I'm trying to concentrate people's minds on the social and political, ethical concerns which should be preoccupying them. But we get a cheap gag about a Zimmer frame, and off it goes. It takes to the air.
That and the wig. Don't forget your wig.
Hi,
honey. Oh, this is from Sue in Denton.
I think you better give me that.
No, hold on. Oh,
give it me.
She says...
Give it me.
No. She says, I just wanted to say thanks for all your efforts last night. I hope you've got your energy back by now, and if so, see you at 1 o'clock. You muscle-rippling hunk of a man.
Just another...
Come on, James.
No, it's just another flight of fancy.
Go on, tell us what happened.
Anyway, what about yourself and your viewing habits?
What do you mean?
Well,
I'm not starting this again.
I believe there's some discussion last night.
You're just trying to deflect away attention now.
Well, no, actually, it's a serious issue because this all arose from this suggestion that, the Daily Sport...
No, it's Nuts and Zoo and FHM.
And the Sport was mentioned as well.
Was the Sport mentioned?
Our newsagent, he puts it on the very end.
Right.
And he usually... mostly obscures it with Exchange and Mart or the Jewish Telegraph or something like that.
Well, I went into my newsagents and had a look at where they were in there, and they were sort of in the middle, but, as you say, obscured a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because there's usually at least one gusset on the front page, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if not more. So, yeah. But this led on to the whole discussion about whether... and the viewpoint has changed, actually.
Hold on. First of all, it wasn't a discussion. It was a question posed to me about whether I've ever bought pornographic material.
And what did you say?
I said no. I told the truth.
Right, okay.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Right. Somebody else get it for you?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Right. Just wondered.
I was shocked, actually, by the amount of people who said they've got, 15 films and they swap it with their friends.
Mm.
Yeah, that's quite normal.
Well, yeah,
is it?
Well, I don't know. It's not my job to comment, really.
Have you ever bought any?
Observe bought?
Yeah.
No.
Acquired?
Well, in the course of a busy working life, all manner of things pass through your fingers.
Pop up, yeah.
Yeah, right. Hey, that'll do.
What? Anne says, hi James, call it coincidence, call it fate, but did you know that during last night's show, Debbie Mack didn't lose a single biscuit? What does that tell you?
This is tiresome. I'll tell you, I'll get my hands on her biscuit eventually. Thank you. On her Garibaldi. Perhaps even her gypsy creams. Right. 0161 288 0103. Oh, we just had a text here from Dorman, who said you should get Kurt Vonnegut on the show, an 18-year-old hero. Yeah, he is quite funny, actually, and refreshingly unhappy about everything and highly cynical. That would be nice. I'll see if we can get him on the blower. Anyway, somebody else says, talking of the government's wasting money, well, we're putting it to you that they were wasting money. It was up to you. Did you know that they're spending millions more of taxpayers' money constructing a new roof inside the Millennium Dome? I didn't know anything about that.
Really?
I thought it cost a few million quid a year just to keep it...
I thought they were pulling it down completely.
Well, it costs so much a year just to stop it deteriorating into a complete wreck.
It's the biggest waste of money going there.
Why? They could have done one thing. They could have said, as soon as they got in, they could have said, the first thing we're going to do is not waste any more money on that white elephant.
It's ridiculous,
but they didn't. They didn't. They carried on with it, and now they're getting blamed for it. But it was. I think it was Michael Heseltine's idea, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, if not John Major's.
God, that's
but certainly it's their failure to take any positive and decisive action about it has made it look like a piece of Labour foolishness.
Yeah.
Where it was foolish to carry on with it, but it was the Tories' idea.
They could have stopped it.
They could have done, but they didn't. It would have been a real positive sign, that. And then, of course, Princess Diana wraps herself up. And off it goes again, back to square one. Right. Oh no, I've just seen a text which has a reference to sex with a school teacher.
Oh,
and
come on now.
And Billy Bunter. So we're not gracing that one. Let's have a word with Natalie in Stockport. Natalie, you're on Key 103. Hello.
Wake me up.
Oi.
Oh. Oh.
All right, that's Natalie. All right, that's her taken care of. Thank you. Luckily, we have this available to us.
Key 103's £25,000 triple play from the station that plays out the songs and pays out the cash. We've already given away a stack of cash.
Yes! Get him!
25, Susan!
Oh, thank you very much!
For the 25.
Oh my God, I'm shaking! Thank you!
We've given away £14,000 so far, and we're still waiting for the 3 songs that will win someone £25,000.
They're coming sometime soon. Keep listening. The £25,000 triple play from Manchester's Key 103.
When TalkTalk first offered unlimited phone calls to everybody else on TalkTalk, the moaning minis thought it would never work. Over 2 million happy customers later, TalkTalk are at it again. But now, everyone with the new Talk 3 International Call package gets a super-fast broadband connection, free forever. Free broadband forever. From the idiots who bought you unlimited phone calls forever. TalkTalk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Here's the deal. At Sainsbury's you can save £4 on a bottle of Pimm's. Now just £12.49 for a 1 litre bottle. Here's the idea. Try a new cocktail called the Pim Pom. Instead of lemonade, mix the Pims with a carton of pomegranate juice. Add strawberries, orange and mint for a great summer drink. Sainsbury's, try something new today. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Eileen and I'm quitting with nicotine. I quit cigarettes about 6 weeks ago and I find that the nicotine lozenges are definitely helping. When I get a craving now, I pop nicotine lozenge in my mouth and I find that my cravings are gone within minutes. Before I quit cigarettes, I was really worried that I was going to put on a lot of weight. But I find they help take away my cravings for cigarettes and they help to reduce my food cravings.
Eileen quit smoking last year using nicotine CQ 4mg lozenges, which helped Eileen control her cravings and her weight while she quit. Requires willpower, contains nicotine, always read the label.
20 seconds on the City of Manchester, starting now. There's a new TV channel that is totally focused on Manchester. What is that channel? Correct.
What?
The I Love Manchester show features the culture, history and landmarks of the city. On which channel?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Correct. Home Search is an unmissable property program. On which channel?
Oh, yeah, it's,
Correct. You have scored maximum points.
Channel M is the all-new TV station for Manchester with more news, more sport, more entertainment, more Manchester full stop. Channel M, now on Sky Guide 203, NTL 26 and free-to-air, frequency 39.
You know this road. This road takes you to work every day.
You know that today you're late and your boss will give you hell. You know the lights at the level crossing are bound to be red. You know you always have to wait for what seems like ages. You know you shouldn't put your foot down, but you will. You know the train travels at 100 miles per hour. You know your family will never see you again. Level crossings. Don't run the risk.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
We must say in a bit, we must say a few words. We will be doing our Wimbledon Roundup, which it's a new feature I just thought of, actually. And I want you to think, I don't know whether you saw any of it today, this French person called Emilia Mauresmo. And I'm sorry, but that's a bloke. I'm sorry, no two ways about it. Right. He's got a chin like Desperate Dan, makes Martina Navratilova look like Jackie. That's how severe it was. Damien in Hyde, do you like tennis?
No, I don't. I can't stand it.
It's funny, though. There was a right slapper on today.
That's nothing new.
Hey, no, this, she was playing that Venus Williams. Never seen anything like it. It looked like Vicky Pollard had wandered onto, got into Wimbledon somehow.
They've always got everything out on tennis.
No, this was funny, though. This was really funny. She looked like a spoilt kid from a middle-class Jewish home in America somewhere who'd blagged away into Wimbledon. It was ridiculous. It's fun. Hello, you've got a Zippo there, haven't you?
Well, lighter, yeah. I'm just sorry. I'm ringing up about the condoms in school.
Right.
I think it's ridiculous.
Where are you from? In Hyde? Oh, that's
I'm from Hyde, yeah.
Yeah, that's your area, isn't it? Tameside.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's ridiculous. And kids are being exposed to that every day. They're trying to cut down on teenage pregnancies and teenage sex.
Well, now, those are two completely separate things, aren't they?
Yep.
Teenage sex is one thing, teenage pregnancy is another. The theory is that if you give them condoms...
It's going to stop it.
It's going to stop what, though?
Kids getting pregnant, but don't always work.
But I'm led to believe that sexual intercourse between people or involving a person under the age of 16 is against the law.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. But as far as the law sees it now, if you're 15 or over and you consent to sex, it's legal.
And what about the, I think Wythenshawe had the record until recently for the youngest pregnancy, but I understand they've been knocked off the top spot by Edinburgh for an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Pregnant, 11-year-old pregnant, but is going to carry on smoking despite the fact that she's pregnant.
That's kids for you these days. That's exactly what it's like. They don't stick to the laws anymore. They don't bother with them because they're not scared of the police. They're not scared of the government.
Well, in her view, in her medical assessment of the situation is that the smoking isn't affecting the baby. She doesn't think.
Well, kids don't know much.
Yeah. Well, she must have got a medical degree because she expressed that opinion. Although how she got the medical degree, I don't know, because apparently she hasn't been to school for 2 years. So it must have been on a correspondence course or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you imagine the 11-year-old gets hold of cigs?
Standing outside shops, waiting for 16, 17-year-old lads, and then mithering them, and eventually they go in.
Right.
It's a thing a lot of kids do.
Okay. Or from the sounds of it, her parents were probably nipping out for her.
True. You can get older fags anywhere these days, though. People that bring them in from abroad will serve anyone these days.
Anyway, what do you think they should do then? Because going back to the schools in Tameside business, the fact remains that however much it may be against the law, and I suppose it proves itself because if people weren't doing it, you wouldn't have to pass a law against it, would you?
No.
Right. However much it be against the law, what are you supposed to do? Allowing for the fact that you know perfectly well, below the age of legal consent, kids will muck about with each other's genitals.
You teach your kids not to, but it's not always down to schools and everyone else. It's also down to the parents. It's the way they're brought up. If you bring them up right, they won't do it.
Right, but what would you do? You see, they will say in Tameside that they're taking a practical view, and that since kids will get up to sexual activity, you better tackle the consequences.
There is a way that they could cut down on it. Instead of having the personal sex education done at 10, 11 years old, they could put it back up to where it was your last year of high school, or just as you were beginning college. That way kids are less aware.
Well, you see, the whole thing about sex education is that if you give kids sex education, it will teach them about sex in a responsible fashion, and then they won't be tempted to experiment from a point of view of ignorance.
But that's it. They're doing it just as the hormones are starting at a young age, and they're thinking, well, it's something new, I'll try it. And then there's the peer pressure on top of it, people saying, yeah, go on, do it. Go and have fun, go and have a laugh. Go and enjoy yourself. And it leads to all sorts of stuff, drugs, smoking, drinking, everything.
Well, not necessarily, but I don't see. They're saying, look, we know kids are going to muck about. I mean, I don't know what the figures are at the moment, but certainly recently we were down as the highest number of teenage pregnancies in the European Union. It seems that we're bottom of the table.
Yeah.
In just about everything, and we've tried other people's approaches. Maybe it's just something in the British personality. I don't know, but I mean, we've criticised the Dutch liberal attitude, and then we try it here, and it doesn't seem to make any difference.
No.
So we say, look, what we must do is teach kids about sex and reproduction from, I mean, some are suggesting from the age of 5 onwards.
That's another thing as well, this with the EU brainwashing for kids at the age of 5 in schools.
Brainwashing them to do what?
To become dedicated EU citizens.
Well, listen, mate, on Saturday,
yeah,
it's the 90th anniversary of the Battle of the Somme.
Yeah.
Where British and French forces attacked the German army occupying part of France, and over the course of that battle, which lasted from July the 1st until November, something like 300,000 blokes were killed. Now, wouldn't it be a better idea if we were all good European citizens? Not to mention the 55 million who were killed in the Second World War and the Spanish Civil War and all the rest of it. Now, you can go back to the Napoleon, you can go back as far as you want. Wouldn't it have been a better idea if we were all good European citizens than constantly trying to blow each other's heads off? America's about the size of Europe. They've not had a war since 1866. In the same landmass.
Yeah.
Since 1866, we've had umpteen. There you are.
I don't know.
No, I know you don't. Right. DC Rook says, James, my teacher fancied me because I wore makeup in class. I don't understand that. Actually, we might approach this problem, since we're talking about sex at both ends of the scale here, from 5, for kids of all ages, from 5 to 49. Of course, there is the oft-repeated saying that the difference between males and females is that the female sexual peak is arrived at in their 40s, and the male, what age is it that's normally quoted? Is it 16? So, clearly then, it would appear that the misdemeanour for which Elvira has been imprisoned would seem to be more of a natural behaviour than what's generally reckoned to be the conventional acceptable one. Apparently. So, I'd like to know tonight if you ever found yourself, as an older female, because we'd like to speak to as many older females as possible in order to build up our database. As an older female or a young male, whether you've ever found yourself in a not dissimilar position, and whether it has caused you a bit of a philosophical anomaly, or if it didn't, did you just get them down and get on with it? 0161 288 0103, James H. Reeve here on Key 103, biggest phone in North West. I'll remind you of what's given rise to this. Should I just fill you in again? Because I know it's been a warm night, and you might have stopped out late and just wandered in now and got hold of it. So, here we are. Got to have the show, that is. Did I really say that out loud? Topics we've touched on so far, yeah. We've had the final accounts for the royal family. 62 pence per person per year it costs. This is what's been revealed today. Certain things went up by above the rate of inflation, but the cost to the taxpayer of the royal family was £37.4 million. More money is needed for the restoration of certain royal properties. The actual way the money is distributed is complex. The Queen has to actually pay for her own frocks and all that sort of thing. But for her official duties, that is paid for by you and me. It costs us all 62 pence a year. 3 options here. It's too much, it shouldn't happen, do away with them. There's the middle road, which is disagree with the monarchy in principle, because by its very nature it makes you a subject and an inferior, or accept that, swallow that particular one, but tolerate it because it makes money. And as you know, most principles in this world can quite easily be sent down the toilet if there's money involved. Okay. Do away with them in principle. Maintain them in principle because they are, through some process we don't understand, they are, after all, the royal family. And I love them, me, and no price is too much to pay to keep them where they belong. In other words, lording it over me. I will pay. I am prepared to hand over money to keep someone lording it over me, and I will even actually travel long distances and get dressed up to applaud them for doing so. Bear in mind, I should therefore be locked up or have a very serious psychiatric assessment done, but no, I insist on that, and I will fight anyone who disagrees with me. 0161 288 0103. Big story about the teacher. This is it. If you just joined us, wonder how we got onto this sex in schools business. Well, there's quite a few things now. There's the government is looking at the idea of single-sex schools and thinking they should all be done away with, all made into comprehensive schools with the sexes mixed. And there are quite a few which would be affected in the Greater Manchester area. Well, in Manchester itself, actually, Burnage High School for boys, Levenshulme High School for girls, North Manchester High School for boys, North Manchester High School for girls, and Whalley Range High School for girls. They've been included for reassessment, but irrespective of the educational benefits of it, what about the mixing of the sexes? And that sort of ties in to the story of Elvira Fairhurst, 49-year-old mother of 2, a teacher, been sent to prison for 4 years and 3 months for having sex on a number of occasions over a prolonged period with a male pupil. Let's get this right. This isn't an older male taking advantage, as it's apparently always depicted, taking advantage of a much younger female. But this is a 49-year-old female having sex with it's actually started when he was 14 and continued while he was 15. That's what happened. It went on. There were 11 incidents of sexual activity. I won't go into the fine distinctions between them, but she was jailed for 4 years and 3 months on each count, but they will all run concurrently. So there. Good, bad. Who's in the wrong there? Wouldn't most lads welcome the chance of an older woman. Mind you, you know, if you see Elvira's picture in the paper, I suppose you know, are entitled to pick and choose a bit. But anyway, wouldn't most lads welcome the opportunity? Steve has just texted right this minute and said, when I was 16, I had sex with a 45-year-old lady near my school. I don't know whether you mean who lived near your school or just near the school. Anyway, says Steve, it was fantastic. She taught me a lot over 3 months. Is that a fact? Well, if you're on either side of that argument, 0161 288 0103, that'll put you on Key 103 with James H. Reeve. The time now is, heavens above, it's 11:30.
Cooling in the morning on Key 103.
What have you learnt, Chelsea, over the last
I've learnt I've got to stand up for this.
Oh my God.
I've learned that having had my belly button pierced for about 8 years, it looks really weird when it comes out. Look at that!
You do realise we're not on television, the listeners can't see you.
Oh, can't they?
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream. Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
You have 20 seconds on the city of Manchester starting now. There's an all-new TV channel that is totally focused on Manchester. What is that channel? Correct.
Hey, hang on.
You can now get regular in-depth news reports from Manchester on which channel?
Oh, I should know this.
Correct. Code 13 is a rugby league action fest on which channel?
Oh, now you're asking.
Correct. You have scored maximum points.
Channel M is the all-new TV station for Manchester with more news, more sport, more entertainment, more Manchester full stop. Channel M, now on Sky Guide 203, NTL 26 and free-to-air frequency 39.
1,400 text messages
and 100 minutes per month
on any Orange Pay monthly mobile phone. When you join the Dolphins £30 package in June.
Sounds good, doesn't it? So for 1,400 texts and 100 minutes per month on the Dolphin £30 package, visit your local Orange shop this weekend. Subject to an 18-month contract. 1,400 texts for 6 months and 1,200 texts for 12 months. Ends 30th of June 2006. Terms apply.
You know running's good. And raising money, well, that feels great. But running and raising money? Now that's amazing. Running 10 kilometres for Cancer Research UK is a fantastic way to fundraise for the UK's leading cancer charity. Whether you're running because somebody close to you has been touched by cancer, or you just want to run and raise money at a spectacular venue, entry couldn't be simpler. To join us at Tatton Park on the 24th of September, visit cancerresearchuk10.co.uk. The Cancer Research UK 10K. Together, we will beat cancer.
Come in, quickly, come on. This is the reception room with heated fireplace. Hallway into open plan kitchen stroke diner. Garden out the back there. Moving on.
Can I just,
seen enough. Right, upstairs, quick. Bedroom 1, bedroom 2, with ensuite. Ignore that. Round the corner's bedroom 3. Okay, seen enough. Excellent. See yourself out. Thanks for coming around. Thank you. Goodbye.
Can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Just had a very interesting email here from... we'll do it in the... here comes that expression. No names, no pack drill fashion. But an interesting confession. Confession? Well, maybe not a confession. A story, anyway. About someone having sex with a much older woman, 25 years older, and the thoughts which that has provoked. I'll do that for you in a second. We're going to open show now and talk to Tendai. Tendai. Let's find out. Hello? I'm not sure. Is that Do I call you Ten or Die or both?
Just call me Tendai.
Tendai, okay then.
Yes.
Right. You're of Chinese association, I understand.
No. A true and proud African.
Wait a minute. Hey, you, excuse me one moment. What are you talking about? She said, he's Chinese, this one.
No.
What's the matter with you?
She didn't find out. She just said, what's your name? And I gave him a name.
It's terrible, you know. I wish I'd have been at that interview.
Okay.
Anyway.
You missed that one.
Right, whereabouts you from? And has your team been knocked out of the World Cup yet?
I'm from Africa, from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, oh, they didn't,
yes.
They didn't get in it, did they?
Okay.
They still do a bit of cricket. Anyway, how can we help you?
I think it should be, how can you contribute? I just need to contribute. First of all, I need to respond to your analysis of sex education when you said the reason why students or kids should be taught sex education so that they will not be inspired into experimenting. I seem to share a different view of the of that perception, because I think if they are taught about sex, then they'll be inspired to experiment, to prove, in as much as they're taught science, they're given the theory, and then they will go on to experiment. So I tend to differ. My contribution would then be sex education should be deferred to post-16, like the previous speaker.
So we shouldn't even tackle sex education until people are 16?
Yeah, the reason being, you see, this, when I look at the whole thing, I mean, it's good that people are looking at symptoms of a system that has been let for a very long time to just go and erode down the drain. If you look at the education system as a whole, behavior remains at the core of the problem. So as people are looking at, okay, this has happened to a teacher, it's all because probably she's stressed and then she doesn't really know what to do in this profession. But I mean, if you look back, I don't know when you were involved in primary education, I don't know the years, and I don't know what type of discipline or disciplinary measures existed during your time. But I think you would agree with me that there's been a transformation in the education system, not for the good, but for the worse. I mean, going back is not a thing that people will ever think of doing, and overhauling the education system as a whole will take decades, if not centuries.
But listen, Paul. When it's suggested that we teach children in order to stop them experimenting, in order to make sure that they understand fully what they're getting involved in. Some people say, well, we should start as early as the age of 5, because they will have noticed that some people have got certain things and other people haven't. They will already have become aware of that, and therefore the sensible thing is to explain to them why and what it's for and all this, and then they won't be tempted to find out on their own. Now, people go mad when you suggest that. On the other hand, if you say, well, let's do sex education, as you say, by the time people are 16,
yes.
But some people, by the time they're 16, they've got 2 kids and another one on the way.
Right, exactly. The thing is, instead of looking at the way people are behaving, yes, some people get kids, 2, 3 kids by the time they get 16.
Yeah.
But let's look at what causes that. I mean, what contributes? What makes people make such decisions? And let's look at that. What contributes? Why is it like that? Is it the way it should be? Because what we end up doing is we are saying we've got a situation, let's deal with what we have, right? So the thing will just progress, changing, and by the time we start thinking, but how did we get this far? We won't be able to go back.
Right, well,
as of now, I will not stand and say I'll blame the lady teacher. I cannot blame her because I think she has her reasons. I will not blame even the boy. He's got his reasons. But I look at the system as a whole. I say there's something wrong that legislators and parliamentarians really need to look, especially as regards our education system. For instance, when I grew up, wherever I grew up, I used to get the whip. And that way, I think, in as much as then I'll say it was wrong, but to date, when I look back, I say, oh.
Well, you used to get the whip?
Oh, yes.
What, from an older woman?
No, whipped by the teacher for his nuisance behavior. We got whipped.
Well, that sounds a very interesting school. I think some people pay a lot of money to go there, but anyway, right. So.
And I had an opportunity to teach some students in this country, and some of them really sentimented that they would want to go back to the whip, and I was so shocked.
I think whip is a bit of a strong word. You mean corporal punishment?
Well, yeah, I don't know what you call it, but at least that...
I mean, would it be like a leather strap or a...
something like that.
Or a plimsoll?
Yeah, so something that would really put people in the right way.
It wasn't like a cat of nine tails, was it, with a line of Marines playing the drum?
No.
No. That is a bit severe, that.
Yeah.
All right, well, the corporal punishment argument, I know there are people who fume and they look at the things that are going on. There are cases on a regular basis of young people misbehaving, assaulting old people, and people can't wait to see it brought back. It won't happen because of legislation.
Exactly.
But that doesn't prevent us discussing. The fact that it won't doesn't prevent us discussing whether people think it ought to or not. But as regards to sex education, we've got to find a balance here, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. Now, some people have already been taught. I mean, they know everything about it, and then we might say, okay, they know something already. We can't take that out of them because they know it.
Exactly.
Yes, that's a situation, again, we have to deal with. It's quite unfortunate that I tend to have the retrogressive approach. I look back and say, how did you get this far? And you are saying, here we are, let's look forward. What are we going to do with the situation at hand? Well, I don't think much can be done, but methods of preventing things like STDs, they need to be taught to the kids. Well, I'm not saying they need to be given condoms as such, but they must be told to refrain from be taught more how STDs are spread through sex. Maybe that will inform them and probably promote them to deter from sex.
Oh, sure, but listen, you're from Africa, aren't you?
Yes.
Now, we've seen there how efficient education is at stopping people from spreading HIV and AIDS. It doesn't work. There are all sorts of education programs. People know perfectly well the risks, and yet AIDS is spreading throughout sub-Saharan Africa. Because as you know, I'll put this as delicately as I possibly can.
Okay.
Is that under certain circumstances you're prepared to ignore the risks, aren't you?
Yes.
Right. In fact, there's a little story about a mummy bathing her little boy. She's got him in the bath, and he points to his nose and he said, is that my nose? And she says, yes, well done, very good. And he points to his hand, he says, is that my hand? And she says, yeah, that's your hand, that's very good. And he points to his knee. And he says, is that my knee? She says, yes, it is your knee, very good. And he points to his willy. And he says, is that me brain? And his mother says, not yet. I think that tells a story there.
It does.
Anyway, Tendai, we're going to move on now, but happy Chinese New Year.
Same to you.
And
Good night, friends.
yeah, there'll be a meeting.
Thanks,
Yes, there'll be a meeting about this. Don't you worry about that. Oh my God, there'll be a tribunal about that one. That was Tendai in Openshaw. God's truth. Oh dear me. The mind bog. I'm just thinking. Any plans I had to take, to go anywhere near a Chinese restaurant with her, obviously they've just been put on a back burner, haven't they? Clearly. 0161 288 0103 puts you on key 103. Our next stop is Macclesfield.
So, will you pick sexy Salzburg, birthplace of Mozart and setting for the sound of music? Or would you rather Bratislava? She's a 24-hour city, but will you keep up? Or will you have a crack at Krakow? Beautiful by day, but what a sight by night. The choice is yours.
With Sky Europe Airlines, the choice is even easier. Just £25 each way, including taxes, can get you a date with these European cities, thanks to Central Europe's largest low-cost airline. Just visit skyeurope.com. Skyeurope.com. More Europe to discover. Terms and conditions apply.
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream. Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
The only thing better than shopping for summer is shopping with someone else's money. Right now at Mersey Shopping Centre in Stockport, as well as all your usual leading fashion stores like River Island, USC and Republic, enter our summer style competition and you could win £250 to spend with Topshop's very own style advisor. Visit the customer service desk at Mersey Shopping Centre Stockport before the end of June to enter the summer style competition and start your summer with style. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine if you could never have children. Imagine you couldn't experience the joy of bringing a new person into the world and the delight at seeing them grow up. Well, there are many people who can't have children who you could help. If you're female, aged between 23 and 35, fit, healthy and prepared to be an egg donor, then contact Manchester Fertility Services at Bridgewater Hospital. You'll be paid expenses, but more importantly, you'll be making a real difference. Give the gift of life with Manchester Fertility Services at the new Bridgewater Hospital on Princess Road. Call Manchester 227 0055.
Here's the deal. At Sainsbury's, you can save £4 on a bottle of Pimm's. Now just £12.49 for a 1 litre bottle. Here's the idea. Try a new cocktail called the Pim Pom. Instead of lemonade, mix the Pims with a carton of pomegranate juice. Add strawberries, orange and mint for a great summer drink. Sainsbury's, try something new today. Please drink responsibly.
Set the treadmill to 5k. Done 3. Feels like 30. Legs are jelly. Lungs are burning. And it's all down to the decathlon sale.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock-bottom prices. Be careful, you could come in for some tennis balls and leave with a fully equipped gym. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off Junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the decathlon sale.
Isn't it unbelievable the way banks treat you?
You pay in a cheque, and you have to wait
days before your bank
starts to credit your account with interest.
Waiting days? What's that all about?
But not at Lloyds TSB.
They're the first and only bank
to pay you interest.
From the day you pay in
to the day your bills get paid.
So if you use cheques, standing orders and internet banking,
you could earn over 150 days more interest a year.
If you're losing interest in your bank, switch to Lloyds TSB. Lloyds TSB, you first. Personal current accounts paying interest. Same day interest on up to £1,000 of cheques a day. Paid in over counters 9am to 4:30pm weekdays.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Before we speak to Steve in Mac, I'd just like to speak to our support staff here about the matter of Tendai. Now, I know that principally, geography isn't a necessary. No, it's not a required qualification, is it, for the gig? But that's a bit wide of the mark, that, if you don't mind me saying so.
All I can do is just apologise. A full, unreserved apology.
Right. That gets you out of most things, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah.
When I spoke to him, he sounded Chinese.
He sounded Chinese.
When he was speaking to you, I could see how that would be a silly remark to make.
Right. He sounded about as Chinese as Bishop Desmond Tutu, frankly.
Well, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But out there, he just sounded a bit different, and I do apologise to him. I'm very, very sorry.
Why are you very sorry? That's probably very offensive to our many Chinese listeners.
No,
why do you have to
be?
apologise?
Because I got his nationality incorrect.
Right, so you've nothing against Chinese people per se?
No, of course I haven't.
Okay. Well, that's interesting then.
Sorry.
Yeah. I bet you think Rory Bremner's rubbish at impersonating people, don't you?
No, I think it's all right.
Oh, that's worrying. Okay. Steve is in Macclesfield. Steve?
Hello, James.
Hello.
Hello.
I wasn't expecting a Canadian.
No, you're right.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, anyway,
Right.
you're on Key 103, etc.
Right, where shall I start? You know when you're
Start
under
at the very beginning.
You know when you're under the age of 10, you don't know much of what's going on in life, do you really?
Well, yeah, I did. I could read several modern languages, but the average person.
The movement of your body, you don't know what I mean? You're not old enough to know anything. Right, I'm going to start at the beginning here.
That's a good idea.
I remember getting up on a Sunday morning, and I phoned my friend up. She called Anita. She's lived round the corner from where I lived. Now, I remember getting up that day, that Sunday morning, and going round. And she says to me, "Come on, Steve, jump in with us." Anyway, clothes are off, everything. In the bed we get, both me and her.
Wait, whoa, just go back. I'd like to hear some of this again. Let's rewind.
Rewind what?
Yeah, so how old are you? You're how old?
I'm about 5 or 6, maybe 7, very young. And my friends phoned me up to go round on the computer for a bit. So I've gone round, and we've gone upstairs into her bedroom, shut the door and everything. And she says, "Do you want to get in bed with me or what?" All right. Clothes off, straight in, both of us.
How old's your friend?
Same age, about 7.
Right, okay.
Neither of us know what's happening or anything.
This is innocent fun up to this
Yeah,
stage,
just
isn't it?
innocent buggering about, yeah.
Yeah.
So we was trying to have sex, and nothing was happening really. Couldn't understand why. Anyway, her mother walked
Were you under a lot of stress or something? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just what children do.
Yeah.
And the mother walks in and catches me and her pissing about on top of each other, buggering about.
Yeah.
Naked as well, no clothes on neither of us. Just buggering about anyway.
Please stop using that expression.
She phones my mother up. Right. Oh, hell. She comes around, picks me up, gets a clip round here, gets home, get grounded for 6 weeks. Later to find out, the girl who was picking about with was my cousin.
Oh, dear. Mind you, Macclesfield...
Pardon?
Macclesfield, that's not out of the ordinary, that, is it, really?
No.
No.
This wasn't in Macclesfield.
Oh, sorry, you're in Macclesfield now.
I live in Macclesfield now. No, this was in Hyde, where I used to live in Newton, at the back of senior service.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh.
So that's where I used to live. The school used to be at the back of where we lived.
Okay, that's not important. Let's stick to the sexual content because people like that. Right. I don't want to go into when you said you were trying to.
Yeah.
Did
it work?
No, it didn't.
No. Oh, I see. Right.
It never happened. We couldn't do it.
Right. No. Yeah, but I mean, was that because
Because we didn't know what we were doing, really.
Right. Not really.
We were trying, but it weren't happening.
Right, yeah, I see. Right. I think you've sort of answered the question. Right.
Did you know what you were trying to do?
Oh,
yeah,
God.
we knew what we was trying to do, but
she's woken up all of a sudden.
Eh?
Well, the point is that I assume that the point you're trying to make is that you were, without any indication of what sex involved.
Oh, we knew what we were doing.
You knew what you were doing?
Yeah, we knew.
At 7?
Yeah. We just couldn't do it. That's what I wanted to do.
You don't...
And she agreed with it, but we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, we've got the couldn't do it part. I think we understand that. And it happens to a lot of...
A 7-year-old, yeah.
7-year-olds, yeah, don't worry about it. You've probably got a lot going on at work.
Should happen to every 7-year-old, to be honest.
Well, so, no,
should be impossible.
Well, what I'm trying to get to here is, did you realise, were you just mimicking something that
we'd seen, yeah.
That you'd seen?
I'd seen my parents do it.
Right. And did you know that was how human beings reproduce?
No.
No, you didn't?
No.
Did you have a vague feeling that this is all right?
That's what I was going to say.
I'll have some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad enjoying themselves at the time, you thought they...
There's no need to introduce that element.
Well, that's nice we're coming out of it, so you're enjoying it anyway.
Oh, please, no, we're wandering into this is a very unsavoury area here. Frankly.
So that kid should be in bed now anyway.
Well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you would think that, wouldn't you?
It's late enough.
Oh, we're trying to establish as to what role your awareness of human sexuality was playing in that. If it was sheer mimicry, if it was that strange stage of curiosity where you've no idea what private parts are all about, but you do keep, looking, don't you? As if, there's something down here is trying to tell me something.
It was a bit of everything, really.
Yeah. What an extraordinary business.
Well, I don't suppose it's not happened to just me. I bet it's other people that have experienced it as well.
I'm just wondering what you think about the case of Elvira. Now, if you go looking up Elvira on the internet, you'll find that you'll come up with two references. One is to Mrs. Fairhurst, the imprisoned teacher, and the other is to a woman called Elvira, who was a bit of a singer in a time, and you'll see there's an appreciable difference.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
I hate to say this, but the teacher should know better.
Well...
You think so, wouldn't you?
But
it's a road that you would not go down.
But you're taught...
Whether you like that person or not, you'd have to leave the school and make sure they're old enough and everything. You just wouldn't do it.
Okay, you see, there's an important thing here. There's the legislation to consider.
Yeah.
And that is, and this has cropped up many a time with male teachers and female pupils mostly.
Oh, yeah.
Who actually, could have a relationship legally, if they were not attending, either working at or attending the same
as long as
school.
Got no connection.
Yeah, because then you were in a position of authority, and there wasn't there the case of the teacher who.
As long as they're old enough.
Yeah, well, he went out with a much younger girl who was above the age of consent.
Yeah.
But he was breaking the law because she was a pupil at his school, and they subsequently got married and lived happily ever after. So it wasn't an abusive relationship in practice, but on paper,
it's all alive, isn't it?
It absolutely was. But we're told that males reach their sexual peak. Is it between? You'll know about this, won't you?
18.
Between 16 and 18, and women
about 35.
35. So the law would appear to be an ass in this case.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem? I hope I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it seems a bit
probably
more
will be on
sordid. Yeah. It seems a bit more sordid when you hear about a female teacher doing it to a male pupil.
Why? No.
Yeah.
No. Public opinion would say it's much more offensive if you're talking about a male teacher having an affair with a female pupil.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I don't know. This seems a bit more sordid to me. The female teacher with a male pupil.
The male teacher looks more forced than the female.
Looks more forced?
Yeah. Well, you understand what I mean?
No. Not by a long chalk.
Well, people who get raped are usually females, isn't it? So it's the male that's done it. So a male teacher looks worse than a female teacher.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not talking about rape here.
No, we're not talking about rape. No, I'm talking about a male teacher other than a female one. It looks worse than a male. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jackie disagrees. That'd be interesting. I'd like you to come back here when you're 48.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, all right.
Not you, you daft. What? Some man at work. He's no idea what's going on.
We lived in Hyde, and now he lives in Macclesfield. So.
He's trying to better himself. Oh no, I just received a very, very rude text, but it's quite funny. Although probably it's best written down rather than read out. Thank you. 0161 288 0103. Jackie opines that it's more sordid that it's a female teacher.
Just seems that way.
An older woman and a younger man.
Yeah.
But there are women who pay for the services.
I know. I think if you're a young girl and your older, attractive maths teacher takes a fancy, you're probably really cool in class because you're going out with a teacher. I can see it for the 15-year-old lad, but for an older woman to find a 15-year-old lad attractive, you can see why an older bloke would find a 16-year-old in a short school skirt attractive, but for the older woman to find the 15-year-old boy attractive.
But you've just supplied the statistics for me to say that appears to be the natural order of things.
No,
you just did it. You just did it when I asked you.
Well, it doesn't matter what your sexual peak is. That's different to what you're attracted to.
But your sexual peak is like, in the animal kingdom.
Doesn't mean you have to go out with a 15-year-old boy.
Anything that's got its tail lifted up.
I mean, if 18, you think, yeah, he's going to be, active.
Yeah.
Satisfy your needs and all that. But a 15-year-old boy.
Well, if Mr. Fairhurst is not attending to, this, that and the other.
Yeah.
And you might, if you've seen the article, might be able to understand that.
Yeah.
Then Mrs. Fairhurst might well have thought,
elsewhere.
I'll take my requirements elsewhere. Thank you.
But 15's just too sordid.
15.
I bet he was chuffed to bits. Yeah.
Well, exactly. That's the point that I'm making. 15-year-old lad. Good blimey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody gets hold of your doings.
Stock cupboard, all the rest of it, yeah.
Stock cupboard, that's quite romantic, actually, isn't it? Quite daring. I mean, beats Delamere Forest.
Delamere
I'm
Forest?
sorry, did I say that out loud? Right, anyway, let's move on. Oh, look, it's midnight. Never mentioned it. 0161 288 0103. And we've not fitted in our Wimbledon roundup yet, which we must do. Thank you. And we'll have to put it on the website. I'll get a picture of Bethany Matek for you, who's fantastic. Obviously, I was watching because Venus Williams was involved. But then when Bethany came on court, I didn't know what to do. It was fantastic. 0161 288 0103 on the matters we've been discussing this evening. I must stop being distracted by amusing but entirely unbroadcastable texts. I'll shut this one down, and that will put temptation out of... What is it? Put temptation behind me. You know what I mean. 0161 288 0103. We've got a little over 55 minutes of each other's company remaining.
Out of the saddle for 15 minutes now. I've been down through all 27 gears. I've nothing left. Thighs are on fire. It's all the fault of the decathlon sail.
With over 70 sports catered for at rock bottom prices, be careful, you could come in for a football shirt and leave a fully equipped cyclist. The Decathlon Sports Megastore Mega Sale, just off junction 1 of the M60.
I hate the Decathlon sale.
To get free broadband forever, just answer this simple question. Can you find your way to the Carphone warehouse? See TalkTalk, their home phone company, will give you up to 8 meg broadband free forever with their new Talk 3 international call package. So you'll never have to pay to use the internet again. Sign up today at the Carphone warehouse. TalkTalk, free forever. One-off connection fee, line rental, fair use, minimum contract, terms and conditions apply, subject to availability.
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream.
Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
You've just gone through the red lights at a level crossing. You darted under the first barrier okay, but your exit's blocked by the car in front, and now you're stuck on the track. Do you, A, try to reverse and pretend it didn't happen? B, quickly get the kids out of the car and run? Or C... Sorry, too late. Level crossings. Don't run the risk.
The only thing better than shopping for summer is shopping with someone else's money. Right now, a Mersey shopping centre in Stockport, as well as all your usual leading fashion stores like River Island, USC and Republic, enter our summer style competition. And you could win £250 to spend with Topshop's very own style advisor. Visit the customer service desk at Mersey Shopping Centre Stockport before the end of June to enter the summer style competition and start your summer with style. Terms and conditions apply.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
I've had time to read the text messages in my own time and assess them. I've chosen the following for your delight. I had sex... Oh, this is from Mr. Bond. I've been expecting him. He said, I had sex with a 20-year-old woman, and I loved it. From Mr. Bond, age 13. P.S. I am really age 13. Heavens above. Here in North Wales, we've stopped sheep shagging and taken up bull buggering. The thrill of the chase is so much better. Oh, that's nice. Lovely insight into life in rural North Wales. And Rendonga from Macclesfield said, James, I missed my sexual peak. I'm 44 now. Will I get another chance? I've got loads of new tricks. I don't know, really. The decision's... It's not in my hands, frankly. If we go to Salford, we'll speak to Sarah in Salford. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, James.
Hi, all.
How are you?
All right.
Yeah, not bad. Long time no speak, as I say.
Oh.
Yeah, I took a few years ago, anyway.
There's a programme on... You know, like, on telly now, they've run out of ideas. So they just keep elaborating on previous ones.
Which one's that one?
This one is now... This is called Nobody's In.
Not heard of it,
Right. Well, they've had it where people go and live in each other's houses.
Yeah.
They've had it where people go and live with each other's husbands and wives. They've had it where people go and run each other's businesses. They've now got it where the landlord and landlady of a pub go and run somebody else's pub. Okay.
Right.
Obviously, this will go on forever, right? But they're both from Manchester, right?
Yeah.
Running this pub in Who or somewhere in Devon or something like that. And they're like, it's no good because we tried doing a meal tonight and the pub's dead smoky.
Yeah.
And you can see the locals looking at them, obviously listening very closely to try and make out what they're saying.
Of course.
You know, I'm gutted, because I want to make a big meal tonight, but the fan's broke. And all these people go, yeah.
Sounds like why I thought this was
Yeah,
the way.
not dissimilar, but I'd love to find out what pub it is that they run up here, because they've got fantastic Manchester accents.
Yeah.
And they said, we've enjoyed it so much down here, that we're inviting all the friends we made here to come and stay with us in our pub in Manchester. So I'm looking forward to that. Excellent.
Oh, that's
Thank
good
you.
then. Right, because what my subject's about, you know, with this thing about this teenager and teacher, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago on, I don't know if you heard of the Channel 4 soap Hollyoaks.
I know of Hollyoaks, yeah.
So they were doing the same thing with Becca Hayton and this Justin Burton and whatever.
Listen, I know none of the characters in any television soap operas, so I can't help you there.
No, of course not, no, but I'll just say...
Unless it involves Ina Sharples.
Yeah, in Coronation Street.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
Right. It's because, like, it's just I think history is just repeating itself non-stop because it keeps going on about, like, where with this teacher ran away with a 15-year-old girl, and it's like a whole story again, saying the same story about, you know, why are these teachers sleeping with young girls, or this teacher's doing this and that in the end, and then they, you know, what's the law, you know, the law that can't do anything about it, but they always say they can deal with it, but they can't, can they?
Well, there are certain things you can do within the law. It is, and it's not just to do with the age of, the legal age of consent. It's to do with, as I said before, even if you are above, even if you're 16, 17 or 18,
yeah,
and you're still at school,
yeah,
you can't have a relationship with a teacher.
Of course not, no.
However genuine and real and sincere that relationship may be.
Yeah, so it's like with sex as well. You can't have sex on the age of 16 as well. You know,
Yeah,
like,
but if you right, let's look at it this way. Let's imagine, right?
Yeah.
You're just imagine this. You don't have to dress up or anything.
Yeah.
Although it'd be appreciated if you did. Let's imagine I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
At your school. I might have just come out of teacher training. I'm 21. You're 17.
Right.
Okay. Now then. It would be legal for us to have a relationship, a sexual relationship, if you weren't a pupil at that school or I were not a teacher at that school.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Right.
I understand.
Well, that's the law.
Yeah.
But because we are, I am deemed to be in a position of authority.
Of course, yeah.
Right. Now, this reminds me of a line from Oliver Twist.
Right.
Right. Because the law clearly believes that a man has any authority over a woman whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which is clearly not the case.
Of course, yeah.
I'll give you the quote. What is it? For the law supposes... This is what he says to Mr. Bumble.
Yeah.
He says, the law supposes that a woman acts under her husband's direction.
Mm.
And Mr. Bumble says, well, if that's what the law supposes, sir, then may the law's eyes be opened by experience. He says, if that is the law, sir, then the law is a bachelor.
So it's not true in a way.
He clearly, Harry Seacombe, Mr. Bumble didn't believe that to be the case, and I think most men would agree. But anyway, forget that. So, yeah, the legal fault is the teacher, and the teacher would be prosecuted. I would be prosecuted if I were your teacher for abuse of my authority because you are supposedly within my authority. If, under any other circumstances, if we met in a pub and we worked at separate places, I worked somewhere else, you were at a different... That would be fine. But the point remains that this woman, this Elvira, has been... It's through having sex with... Well, actually, it doesn't break it down particularly in the findings of the court. But she's quite clearly guilty of two things. One is having sex with someone under the legal age of consent. The other is of having sex with someone who is within her authority. Now, there's no arguing with the legal position, but morally, what's wrong with accepting or assuming that men are more predatory in their sexual habits. What's wrong with a 15-year-old lad being offered and accepting sex with a 49-year-old woman?
Nothing, really. Because they're the same as, like, same thing as the opposite sex, really, then.
Well, yeah, I mean, most 15-year-old lads would think it was Christmas, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think it's his lucky day.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackie thinks it's sordid and squalid.
Right.
So have you, how old are you now?
I'm 22.
You're 22? Have you had experience with someone where there has been an appreciable age gap?
No, I haven't, no.
Right. You've generally gone for around about the same area?
Yeah, in a way, like, with my age group. I wouldn't say, like, someone older, but maybe, like, not too old, maybe say 30, 32, but that's not as old, because that's not as big age gap, really.
Right. No, we are talking... In fact, if she's 49, and she's got 2 kids, very good chance they were about the same age as this lad, aren't they?
Yeah, true.
Jackie's pulling a face here as if she's trying to pass a particularly uncooperative stool.
Right.
Anyway, right, I'll try and find out where that pub is in Manchester. We'll bob in.
Well, you have to let me know, obviously.
Right off, Sarah.
Take care, James, anyway.
Right, get off now, as we say in the trade. 0161 288 0103. You still have a furrowed brow.
Well, the thought of her sleeping with someone the same age as her sons, you've got to admit that is...
Well, wait a minute, whoa.
You've got to, James.
Cary Grant, Charlie Chaplin, and somebody else quite recently, fathering children with much, 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 much younger women.
Yeah.
In their 60s. Who is it? Somebody who's in the last few weeks. Somebody very well known has just announced that they're... Who was it?
Oh, someone really old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh no, it's gone right out of my head. Who is it?
I don't know, I was asking you. I think he was Chinese.
Was he?
Yeah.
God, who is it?
So where are the punters now leaping to our assistance, eh?
Come on.
Hey, who is it?
Famous bloke.
Yeah, it's been in all the papers just lately.
Michael Douglas.
There has been some of that, yeah. But no, I think it's more recent than that. And even higher profile.
Yeah. That's really annoying me now.
Yeah, can't remember. And we had some explanation about that bit out of the Bible about the talents, but in fact, where is that? Have you run that off?
No, I don't think so. I've got some other ones. Oh, there's loads here. Loads and loads.
You should have seen Bethany.
What's the name of that guy?
It's just happened lately, hasn't it?
Hold on, there's someone ringing him out.
All right, is it Hillman?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you go through into the operating theatre. I'll press a button because that's always a good idea. And in fact, an even better idea is to press it when I'm actually required to. So I'll do that. This could actually be a first. So let's have a stab anyway. It's 16 minutes past midnight. You're listening to James H. Reeve on Key 103. And we'll do a little bit of a roundup and we'll talk to a Hillman shortly.
Key 103's £25,000 triple play from the station that plays out the songs and pays out the cash. We've already given away a stack of cash.
Yes! Get him!
25, Susan!
Oh, thank you very much!
Call her 25.
Oh my God, I'm shaking! Thank you!
We've given away £14,000 so far, and we're still waiting for the 3 songs that will win someone £25,000.
They're coming sometime soon. Keep listening. The £25,000 triple play from Manchester's Key 103.
Rain?
Yes, Finger.
You know how you've got an unconscious mind that keeps working even when you don't know about it?
Yes, what of it?
Well, does that mean I've got an unconscious finger that does things I don't know about?
Finger, you never do anything I don't know about. Press that button, there's a good chap.
Sky Box Office. All you need is a brain and a finger. This week, Flight Plan stars Jodie Foster as a grieving widow flying her husband's body home. She thinks she's lost her young daughter on the plane, but does anyone believe her? And more to the point, do we? Sky Digital subscribers only. Sky Box Office terms apply.
Flight Plan is a scary film about being in an aeroplane.
Well done.
Welcome to live coverage of the England game. And England kick off. They pass it around a bit, and it's half-time. Let's hear what the panel think.
Well,
Stop you there. We're back for the second half. OK, bit more passing and tackling. And there's a goal for England. Oops, shoddy back pass there. Oh, another goal. Back and forth, another goal, another cross. There's the final whistle. Gotta go, got a plane to catch.
can't wait to get on holiday. Cosmos has thousands of holidays ready to go. To book, call 0870 145 5000 or click cosmosholidays.co.uk. Go book it.
Landlords, the law has changed. By the 3rd of July, if you rent out a house or a flat, you may need a property licence. Inquiring about the property licence by phone could cost you 15 pence. Inquiring by post could cost you 30 pence. Inquiring online could cost you 40 pence. Or you can do nothing, which could cost you up to £20,000. To find out if you need a licence, visit propertylicence.gov.uk or contact your local authority. The property licence. Make it your property.
Sparkling Spanish cava from the chalk hills of Catalonia. Served with a splash of pomegranate and raspberry. And until Saturday, spend over £35 in food or wine, and you'll receive a bottle of cava absolutely free. This is not just food. This is M&S food. See in-store for details, selected stores only, subject to availability. Enjoy wine responsibly.
5 mornings a week, Alison has treatment for cancer. The hospital is over an hour's drive away. This means filling up with petrol once or twice a week, which wouldn't be so bad if it was her only expense. Alison guessed that her treatment would involve lots of expensive machines, but she didn't think the hospital parking meter would be one of them.
Travelling and parking costs for cancer treatments can mount up, so if you're struggling to afford it, call Macmillan free on 0800 500 800 and we'll tell you what financial help is available and how to claim it. That's 0800 500 800. Macmillan Cancer Support. We want a better deal for people dealing with cancer.
I'm Eileen and I'm quitting with nicotine. I was quite dubious about giving up cigarettes because when I gave up before, I did put on a bit of weight. But now I'm 6 weeks into it and I really find with the nicotine lozenges that not only are they helping to take away my cravings for the cigarettes, which is great, but also I find that I don't have to be eating and nibbling all the time, so far so good.
Eileen quit smoking last year using nicotine CQ 4mg lozenges, which helped Eileen control her cravings and her weight while she quit. Requires willpower, contains nicotine, always read the label.
Like everyone, Mobley, my little mobile phone, gets treated like a star at the Carphone warehouse. But I think it might have started to go to his head. Don't disturb me. I'm in the middle of my seaweed wrap. Yeah, is that a beauty treatment, a song, or a sandwich? Why must I work with these amateurs? Get treated like a star at the Carphone warehouse.
The James H. Reeve phone in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Right. Well, you've not been away, but while we've been away, I'm afraid the situation has deteriorated considerably.
I didn't say that.
I think you've not been heading wet footballs, have you? She was talking about Kufung before. Anyway, look, can you please explain to me 2 things? First of all...
Yes.
First of all, who is it we're trying to think of? And secondly, the moral of the parable of the 3 servants and the talents.
The first, Des O'Connor.
He's noted for it, isn't he? But I think there's the old gag, Des O'Connor can't be here tonight, he's attending the birth of his next wife.
Yeah.
But there's somebody more recently. No, there's been a case more recently of someone really bobbing on and announcing that his good lady is up the stick.
I thought it was Des O'Connor.
Anyway, moving on to the...
It's in your email somewhere. I'll see if it's in here. I'll start reading them out.
I thought that was part of your function here.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did, yeah, frankly.
You've got that wrong.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, those you've got in your hand there, they're an exception, are they?
These are emails that I've carefully selected.
Those are the ones you
hand.
chose?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right.
Right.
As
Johnny,
the others are the ones you chose to ignore.
Stop interrupting me.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a hard-hitting, fast-moving speech show.
John in Salford says, hi James, please, can we have a picture of Sue and Denton on the website? Please, James, can we have one in her leather outfit?
Well, do you know?
You'd have one, wouldn't you?
Do you know?
You've got one.
No, there was a case. There was a case of a teacher, a primary school teacher, who was sacked. This would be about 8 years ago, I think. That's a funny figure to say, isn't it? About 8 years. Who was sacked for appearing in back to your favourite subject, in an adult, in a specialist publication.
I heard about this.
And there was a sample photo in the evening news or something. And she's gone like, it was like a Catwoman outfit.
But didn't she do it to raise money before she was even trained as a teacher or something?
Really?
They dug it up or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't that bothered, really.
Oh, right.
Not interested where they got it from.
What was it, a leather thing?
There's a great deal of leather involved, it would appear, in a mask.
A mask?
And, yeah, well, as I say, like Catwoman.
Are you sure it was her?
Yeah.
Right.
They got her on a speed camera.
Putting a lippy on.
Right, here we are. Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, and Bill Wyman all had teenage brides. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking more recently than that.
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis is right. When I was 23, I dated a 17-year-old and got slagged off rotten.
That's all right.
Yeah, we don't know whether that's from a man or a woman, do we?
Still, either way is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh. Anyway, go on.
Paul in Oldham says, hey Jimbo, I'm a bit puzzled by all this. Can I ask why you need a second parking space in the first place? Surely the whole point of a Zimmer frame is to get you from the car to the studio. Why would you need to park it outside?
Yeah, well, you just carry on. You just carry on.
Samantha,
you've got a dead horse now. Just carry on flogging it. You flog it to your heart's content. I'm sorry, I don't know why I mentioned flogging.
Samantha says, hello
Delamere
James.
Forest.
We'll be putting a picture of Miss Marple on the website now that Q103 have asked her to look into the Debbie Max Biscuits affair, where Colombo has failed. Miss Marple will unmask the culprit.
I might get the music from Miss Marple. It's quite nice.
Okay. Moira in Ancoat says, hello James, I can understand the big Q103 stars like Penky and Toolin getting a second parking space. They're household names, but what exactly was behind you getting one?
Bull.
This is on the single and mixed school subject from Susan in Manchester. She says, I'm sat at home listening to your programme and writing concerning improving Manchester schools. My daughter's 6 and attends a primary school in Burnage. We recently received a fact sheet regarding building schools for the future from Manchester City Council. The fact sheet requests we voice our opinion whether single or mixed-sex schools are wanted. I attended a single-sex school, Levenshulme High School. I was very unhappy at secondary school as I was frequently bullied. Hence, I wagged school and left school with hardly any qualifications. I don't think this would have happened if the school was of mixed sex. My 2 sisters who attended the same school before me were also bullied. The local lads from Burnage High, which is a single-sex school down the road from Levenshulme, were always hanging around the school gates encouraging the girls to wag school. This happened with ours, actually. We were next door to a single-boys school. We were single girls, and it happened all the time.
Single girls?
Yeah.
All alone in this great big world?
Yeah. I feel attending a mixed-sex school gives you a greater grounding and does not set barriers between the sex. I feel so strongly about this, I put my house up for sale with the aim to move closer to a mixed-sex school so my daughter has a happier education than myself.
Interesting. Of course, the thing was, and this probably applied in your case, that, see, Manchester High was just across the road from our place, and Whalley Range wasn't that far away. And, you know, it was like the enemy camp.
Yeah.
And if you pulled,
yeah.
Well, you know what you did, don't you? You got a Manchester High scarf, and they got an MGS scarf. Yeah, used to wear it. Like that.
We were.
It was against the school rules, but hey, I was a bit of a rebel.
We were at Loretto in Altrincham, and we were next door to North Sestrian for boys, but mainly the girls from Loretto go out with the boys from St Ambrose in Hale. You get all the same buses and stuff.
Well, I blame it on the buses, mixed buses.
The girls at Loretto...
That's where it all started to go wrong.
It is. The rivalry between Loretto and Altrincham girls was mad.
Ew.
It was all after the boys, you see.
You were all after the boys?
And the boys were after us.
So your sexual urges compelled you, drove
No,
you
it
mindlessly.
To St Ambrose Gate.
You see, you're giving a lot more away than you realise.
I am, aren't I?
You know, that's been in all the papers today about how to tell if somebody's lying by observing the detail they put into their replies and the body language.
Yeah.
You've seen all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know all of that. Are you trying to say I'm lying?
I'm just saying, no.
Hello, James, says John in Salford. I don't think Jackie will read this out. Oh, well, here I am. Last night, certain allegations about Jackie buying porn were made. I think you should allow Jackie the chance to defend herself, or could she give us some details about what she likes? I don't own any. I've never bought any. Ridiculous. Penny says, hello, James. Have you been sleeping with the boss again? Come on, James. Give us one of your parking spaces to charity, or better still, a proper broadcaster like Jackie or Debbie.
Oh, well, that's hilarious.
I hope your Zimmer frame gets a ticket.
I have to say that the opportunity of sleeping with the boss is no longer an option, although there have been times during the various management regimes at this station where it might have been if you've been prepared to...
What?
Make the, take that particular...
Stance?
Yeah, well, yes. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Paul says...
Oh, good heavens.
That's disgraceful.
Yes.
Hey, Jimbo, I was taken aback when the news broke last night. James. Certain Q103 staff have been given perks. How do you manage to wangle this second parking space when you only ride...
This is crap, this.
It's not very fair, James. Where's Jackie supposed to park her Porsche? Oh, I wish! Rumour has it, according to the Stop Press, that you didn't appear last night because you lost your wig and couldn't find a matching replacement, says Mark in Wigan. And hello, James, says Dave. Further to your discussion about the naughty school teacher, can I ask a question? Are you old enough to be visiting Sue in Denton? She sounds like a whole lot of woman to handle on your own, James. I could hold your coat if it helps.
Right, okay.
There you go.
Is that it?
Yes.
Right, okay. Thank you very much indeed for that, Jackie. Thanks. Oh, what's happened here? Something hideous has happened. The company's just sent me several hundred emails simultaneously. Oh, it's all going on. I knew it happened. I knew this was bound to happen eventually. I don't know how that's happened. Let's find out what that punter wants, but I've got to tell you something that's happened here. Oh, quick text message. Sarah Beanie was back on TV last night, and they are, if anything, bigger. That's interesting. Okay. Anna Nicole Smith married a 90-year-old billionaire. Yes, she did, didn't she? And unfortunately, didn't he die a matter of weeks later? Thank you. And Lucy, it's signed Love Lucy, which reminds me of a television show. But Lucy said, that primary school teacher was my old head teacher. Is that a fact? If you want to know. Well, yes, I do. And I remember yes. I remember the picture. The name you've given me here, Lucy, is, it sounds a bit made up. It sounds more like the name you'd use with your costume on than when in charge of a primary school. But I'll look that up, Lucy. Thanks very much indeed. Ta. Right. What else is happening here? Chris said, James, did I hear in the news that the boy of 14 to 15, this is in the Elvira case, the case of the teacher sentenced for having sex with one of her pupils, Elvira Fairhurst. Did I hear that the lad in question had special needs? Apparently so. Now, without doing a cheap gag, which would be very easy, in that they were obviously catered for, now whether that makes a difference, I don't know. Clearly it didn't in Mrs. Fairhurst's case. Thanks. And we've done the one about missing my sexual peak. I must return to the subject of Wimbledon, because I can't actually stand it, except for, I mean, I'm not interested in tennis. And the reason I don't like it is because when it comes to the football or the cricket, it's a bit of a partisan thing, okay? You stick up principally for the place you're from. So I stick up for Salford when it comes to rugby union. Did I say rugby league? Don't care about rugby union. Who does? I played it for about 8 minutes. Never again. And obviously, like any sensible man, for City when it comes to football. When it comes to individual sports, I don't give a monkeys. I know I am actually sitting there watching people earn a lot more money than I'm going to earn at the current rate of progress. But it's brought home to you much more forcefully when it's an individual. And when they judge who's the best golfer by how much money they've won. Well, yeah, I know, it is a pretty good indication, obviously, but it's rather... You'd think they'd at least dress it up a little bit. But it's, you know, they put them in the money table, so that's I find that a little bit depressing. And again, at Wimbledon, you're watching an individual, and I'm not thrilled at that. It's a team thing. It's a parochial thing for me. I don't mind watching someone who's good, but I can't get excited about watching an individual. So it's been rather depressing that the argument has gone on again this year about whether the prize money for men and women should be the same. And, okay, I suppose it should. I don't know how you would work it out, whether on a matter of principle or on which attracts the bigger TV audiences and sponsorship and what have you. I don't really know. But I'd be much happier listening to a discussion about whether the prize money should be the same than to hear what I heard today, which is players talking about being paid the same. And it was probably an entirely unconscious choice of words, but it could have been a better one. You like to think of them competing for a prize rather than playing tennis and getting paid for it. I know it's the same thing, but it's just they could at least try and kid us for a little bit longer. Talk about winning the prize and the money that goes with it. Because, to be fair, when the Duke of whoever it is comes out, you are presented with a big plaque, or a cup or something, aren't you? Or a silver salver. You're not given a big transparent briefcase full of money. I know you get that, don't you? But the trophy is nominally the thing. Anyway, what started me off on that? That's right, yeah. Anyway, so I'm watching it. I've got to say, you have a look, you have a nosy round, and I think you'll agree with me. There was a French woman called Amelia Mauresmo, and you will find that that's a man. I'm sorry, if I were in charge, the little container would have been straight down that changing rooms. Fill that. Not necessarily from here, but fill that up. Because that is a man. Okay? She looked like, is it in CSI? Who's the bloke with the big square jaw in one of the CSIs? Looks like him in a frock. But, Bethany Mattock, you've seen her now, haven't you?
Yeah.
What does she look like?
Fashion victim.
Vicky Pollard, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's a disgrace.
Yeah.
Well, she's not as fat as you said she was.
She's a bit
She's not.
En forme de poire.
No, she's not that fat at all.
But she also looks gormless, doesn't she?
They're muscly though, aren't they, tennis players?
Yeah, but she's podgy. Yeah, but she's got cellulite.
Has she?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah, she looks like a a blob. She's very, very funny.
She turned up in one of her competitions in a leopard print dress and got fined. Oh, it's all about fashion, she says. No, it's not. It's about tennis.
Outstanding.
Ridiculous.
I take my hat off to her.
Do you?
I do. Yeah.
Just because you enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, of course. And, you know, I could compare and contrast her with Venus at the other end.
And also, when...
He was having a good swipe.
Yeah.
Good swat.
Because they're pretty unknown, I was reading. The big tennis stars get sponsored like thousands and thousands, but when the new ones go on, people you don't know about like her, sponsors stand there by the sidelines and they'll give them like £1,000 to quickly stitch on a logo onto her clothes.
Really?
Yeah. So she had no logos on, and then next minute she just got a quick one stitched on, grand in the hand, off she pops.
Continuity error. Oh, so it could be anyone.
Could be anyone, but people who are not known really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting.
There you go.
So it was, it was Morton's skip hire, wasn't it? I noticed that. I'll tell you something else about the Tour de France as well in a second. We've got to talk to a Hillman though, haven't we? And we're a little bit late with one or two technical thingies. So let's do them now. That's a good idea.
This week, Key 103 and Shell want you to discover the ultimate drive. On Key 103's Drive Home every day from 4, we'll be giving you the chance to drive down America's legendary Route 66 through LA, Vegas, San Francisco, and the Grand Canyon. We've also got a boot full of sat-navs to be won. For more chances to win, get to your nearest Shell forecourt, get behind the wheel, turn on Key 103, and get yourself the ultimate driving experience on Route 66. All this week on Drive with Shell. Fueling great movement.
This is the sound of the impact when a motorist runs the lights at a level crossing.
Hi, it's Simon. Please leave a message.
Daddy? Daddy? Can't wait to show you what I've done at school today. See you soon. Love you.
If you take a chance at a level crossing, it's not just your life on the line. Level crossings. Don't run the risk.
I'm Eileen and I'm quitting with nicotine. I quit cigarettes about 6 weeks ago and I find that the nicotine lozenges are definitely helping. When I get a craving now, I pop nicotine lozenge in my mouth and I find that my cravings are gone within minutes. Before I quit cigarettes, I was really worried that I was going to put on a lot of weight. But I find they help take away my cravings for cigarettes and they help to reduce my food cravings.
Eileen quit smoking last year using nicotine CQ 4mg lozenges, which helped Eileen control her cravings and her weight while she quit. Requires willpower, contains nicotine, always read the label.
The conventional wisdom is to remortgage every couple of years. But when you add up how much that'll cost in fees every time, maybe it's not such a wise move. Here's an idea. Abbey's Flexible Plus Mortgage. Because it's guaranteed to always track just above the base rate, you get a great deal for the life of the mortgage, so you'll never want to remortgage again. To find out more, call Abbey on 0800 80 80 80, visit abbey.com or your local branch. It could be the wisest move you'll ever make. Abbey, more ideas for your money.
10% deposit, £599, booking fee 0.49% above Bank of England base rate. The overall cost for comparison is 5.2% APR. Calls recorded.
Egypt is fantastic.
It's a country where everything's beautiful.
The people are so cool.
When you're here, there's a kind of magic. It's great to be here.
Egyptians treat you so well. Unforgettable beaches.
Egypt is like a dream.
Will I come back? Of course.
Nothing compares to Egypt.
If you left your heart in Egypt too, make sure to say so at the Love Egypt Club at www.egypt.travel.
The James H. Reeve phone-in on Key 103. Call now on 0161 288 0103.
Sorry, it took me by surprise, but the message we had a little while ago of someone who said that teacher was head teacher at my school, and I said it sounds a fairly unlikely name. Well, I've just done a bit of Googling here. And, yeah, what do you think?
That's not the...
Apparently so.
In the news? That's the same one?
No, this is the one that was photographed in all the, in all the gear. I see there's,
I see why I should put a mask on.
There's worse knocking about than that.
Do you think?
Oh, aye. It's forthcoming events. It says that. I'll have a look at that later.
She's definitely at her sexual peak, isn't she?
Yeah, without, well, it's a bit like The Price is Right, you know, without going over. Yeah. Darren in Stockport, you're on Key 103 again, hello.
Hey, James. You alright?
What do you want? What's your view on the many important social issues that we've been thrashing out on the show this evening?
There's two things I want to talk about, mainly the drinking, but I want to tell you a story here about, you know, when you're on about older people with younger ones and what have you.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I think I was, I used to play football on a Sunday, and there was a woman who was married to someone else off the team. She was like 35.
Yeah.
Basically, all the lads were after her, kind of thing.
Oh, really?
And that was it. I found out later on. You know what I mean? She'd been at it over the years. You know what I mean, with everybody, like. But she just rung me up one Sunday. She used to drop us off on a Sunday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she just rung up, said like, "Do you want me to pick you up?" and all that. And obviously, no lad's going to turn it down. You know what I mean?
Well,
and that was it. That's for a bit.
That's the expression I've been trying to avoid using all evening. No lad is going to turn it down. Now, whether this lad in the case of Elvira Fairhurst, the more I say the name, the more it sounds like
sensual.
No, made up.
Oh.
Right. It's like we call, you know, Tyrone Greenhalgh, isn't it? It's like they don't go together very well.
I missed that, Darren. Did this happen to you when you were younger?
Yeah.
How old were you?
16.
How old was she?
35.
And, you know, did...
Yeah. We was seen each other for a bit. And then, like I say, I found out, like, she'd been seeing a couple of other lads off the team. Mm-hmm. And then, apparently she'd been doing it over the years, you know, ever since she got married to this bloke, like. And
she was married?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, she had a good job, car. She had the works, you know what I mean? I was just like, just a kid, you know what I mean?
You were flesh.
I don't know. But everybody fancied her, you see, you know. I was taken aback when she rung up that day. Because we used to go to the pub after the match, and she used to drop us off. And anyway, I got a phone call. I mean, I think I had 2 pints after the game or something. Obviously, I had to go for a sleep because I was only young. And my stepbrother was
hang on, you were 16. Well, you shouldn't have been in the pub anyway.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll have to ask for that to be taken into consideration.
I know.
What's quite interesting is that you say everyone fancied her.
Yeah.
She probably had no other 35, 40-year-old men who fancied her, so she went for you lot.
I don't know. She was a bit of a... Go on.
No, well, she was a bit of a what? Minger?
I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's the way she used to look at all the lads all the time and everything. She was just... I don't know, it was a bit... When I look back on it now, a bit freakish, really.
See? It's a bit sordid, isn't it?
Yeah. At the time, I was like... I was over the moon.
Well, you would be.
That's what I mean. When the phone went and my stepbrother come up and he said, like, Joanne's on the phone. So I said, who's that? Like, not knowing it's her. So I've come on and she said, do you want to meet me tonight? So I said, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Do I? God blimey.
Yeah, it went from there. And then I don't know. Well, since then they split up apparently, but I don't know what she's up to now. She might be listening now.
Was she your...
do you want us to put out an appeal?
No. Oh. Was she your first?
No. Basically, I don't want to... You do it from a young age. I was listening to someone before. You experiment. I think most lads do it, where you're at a certain age, 10, 11, 12, you know, you think you're doing it, but you're not. Do you know what I mean? It's not... Get what I mean?
10?
I think your first real one is when you start learning, isn't it, when you get older? But she wasn't the first, no. I'd had loads before then.
Oh, he's got to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Make yourself awkward, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't have to spread it around. Whereas, if you've been a lady...
Yeah.
Well, yes.
You wouldn't say that. Oh, yeah, I'd had plenty. Oh, yeah. I'll say. Bang at it. Right. But listen, I want to tell you something. There is, funnily enough, there's a commercial on the telly at the moment, which I always thought was a bit odd, and it's for some sort of fabric conditioner.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously, the mother's getting ready to go to the, it must be salsa night or something.
Oh, yeah.
She's getting ready to go to a Latin American dance class.
And she's got her bits out, hasn't she?
She's got a low-cut dress on.
Yeah.
And have you not seen this one?
No.
And the lad says, put this cardigan on, Mum. And he's, you know, he looks like 15, 16, something like that. She says, oh no, it stinks, she says. So he washes it in this, and puts this fabric, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then she's just going out the door, and he catches up with her and says, here you are. And she says, but, so clean, so fresh. And she puts it on over her busty substances. And then you just see the lads, her son's mates are stood at the end of the street. And they're all like looking
They're all going
like that. They're all looking at his mum, you see.
Right.
So, as the saying goes, you'll have heard many a good tune played on an old fiddle. That's right, isn't it? Of course it is.
Can I just say about the drinking, James, what you mentioned before?
By all means.
You know when you were saying, like, underage lads and all that? Well, we've all been there and done it, yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, where I live, like, obviously all the kids are at it, you know what I mean? Like, that's all they do every night. But what I'm saying is, this is my argument, right? What would you rather have, right? A kid, say like your child, right? And I know this, I know a lot of parents what do this, I don't agree with it, right? But they do it. They buy the kids, say like they're 13 or whatever, they go out and buy them beer, right? So they can drink, right? In the house, right? They know that they're there, they're safe. Yeah? This is what they say, this is their argument. So it's either that, or they go out and do it anyway. So, what do you think to all that?
Well, we keep getting told
that
the British are the worst drinkers in Europe, and the reason the continentals, in particular the southern Europeans, are so much more civilised about it because they have wine with the meals from an early age and all this sort of thing, right? And that's something that's starting to happen in this country. People are becoming much more Europeanised and more globalised and middle class. So, I mean, wine, I don't think I can't even remember my parents drinking wine.
No.
Never mind. I mean, my grandparents, they wouldn't have it in the house. They would think it was some sort of poisonous foreign contraption.
Really?
Yeah, that the Kaiser had planted.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No concept. So, that's what we're always told, that when it comes to drinking, the English are the most uncivilised. Northern Europeans appear to have a problem with beer. Because, for a start, I mean, is it in Sweden? It's something like 4 times the price it is in this country, is alcohol. And somebody told me, who used to go and do a bit of business out there, that also they've got a very high age limit for drinking, and there's a ferry that goes between Sweden and Denmark on a Friday night. He said a lot of lads get on the ferry and they stay on it till Sunday night because they can drink once they're outside Thames Soda Water. They can drink on it, and it's duty free, so it's cheaper. And he said by Sunday night, this ferry it's just a boat full of sick. Because it's just lads drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking. So you don't tend to hear of Italians and the French and Spanish and what have you getting in that state, and the Greeks. They don't seem to get smashed, do they, the same way
as English
we do? I like those documentaries about Saturday night, and it's usually like in Nottingham or somewhere like that, isn't it? And I like watching those because it keeps showing you pictures of drunken women, and eventually one of them is going to show her arse, isn't she?
Guaranteed.
Yeah, or get them out, one or the other, and that's always quite nice.
What's your views, though, on actually, would you do that for your child? Would you buy him drink to know that they're safe? And to sit in, you know, because I don't agree with, you know, they're 13, do you know what I mean? Because I know there was one person in particular who does that all the time. And all their kids have grown up now. Basically, they all just drink every night. That's all they do.
Do you mean?
You know what I mean? And the whole family's like that. So she's brought them up into an atmosphere like that. Well, I don't agree. You know, I wouldn't do that for my daughter, you know what I mean? But saying that, I can see it from the other point of view, is where they're going to go out and do it anyway. And you don't know where they are, you don't know what they're up to, you don't know if to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like, funnily enough, this is a reflection of the argument about sex education. Do you teach them about it and then worry that you've taught them too much?
Yeah.
Or do you not teach them about it and worry that they'll find out by themselves and get in lumber?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does it. Whether what you're telling me there is that the method we're told works wonders in France and Spain and Italy actually does more harm than good.
Yeah.
But I think the assumption is that in southern European homes, they're given a demonstration of responsible drinking, whereas I think you'll find in any home that if you're given a demonstration of irresponsible drinking, there's going to be some effects. I mean, I've shot myself in the foot there because my mate doesn't drink, doesn't touch drink at all, and the reason he doesn't is that his dad was a drunk.
Right. I was just about to say something about that then. Do you think it runs in like the family kind of thing?
Dunno, Matt.
Because my granddad died through beer. My uncle
died through beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
He got cirrhosis and all that, you know what I mean? My uncle, like, he's going the same way. And I like having a beer.
Of course
you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, does it run in the family?
There's no genetic link, actually. No proven genetic link.
I read somewhere the other day, though, that apparently there is. It was off the net as well. My mum's boyfriend printed it off. And it was saying it actually can run like that.
Well, I mean, we're finding out more and more, and it can't be ruled out, because if it's an addiction, which people say it is an uncontrollable addiction, then it may have some genetic basis.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, so we're going to have to continue this on another occasion.
Okay.
But I'll bid you farewell for this evening.
Okay.
And I'm sure the time has come for us to go, but we'll be back tonight with a brand new show.
Yeah.
I've just adapted that. That was Darren in Stockport. Well, we've got to get rid of it. I'm just looking at this. That's right, you know. That is correct. That rings a bell now.
She's gripping that tree, isn't she?
She certainly is. Quick message here. James, I am laughing here about the tennis player. That would be Bethany Mattock.
Yeah.
Worth looking up. I was amazed watching it today. Ooh, how common. Her body looks so unhealthy for a sports person.
The pundits were saying it looks like she's wearing a Suns PE kit.
Yeah. Pundits at 6 o'clock. Isn't it awful? It's not getting any better.
Dear.
Yeah. I kept expecting her to light up a fag during the break. Yeah, because she did. She looked like... Yeah. And we'll finish with a very simple, very old, but nonetheless, it might work when you're not expecting it. An anonymous text message said, I had a ploughman's lunch the other day. He went mad.
Oh.
Aye, thank you.
Rubbish.
It is nearly time for us to hand over to an hour of non-stop hit music on Key 103. I'll get it right. I'm keeping my eye on the right clock tonight.
Thank you.
And I'll just poise here like...
Well, no. Read it properly. Read what I put properly. Okay.
Where?
On the sheet.
That's all it says?
Yes.
That time?
I thought you were going to do it.
No, that's all it says, that time.
Right.
Okay. So I've got to bear that in mind now.
Yes, yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm glad we sorted that out.
Yes. And now it's all...
flowing nicely.
Yeah, it's all Chinese to me. Anyway, Sam Walker's here. I was talking earlier with a friend, an admirer of Sam's outside.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was outside, yeah. Anyway, he's gone now. And she'll be with you from 2 o'clock till 6 on Key 103 overnight, taking you till 2 in the morning with all the fun and frolics associated with Toolin and Chelsea and the gang of crazy haywire merrymakers. And but before all that starts, there is an hour of non-stop hit music on Key 103, your favourite, Manchester's biggest hit music station, I understand, nearly. And all that starts...